Hey, hello, everyone. This is Dr. Garrett Smith. We are a little late in the week for this live stream. I was not willing to lose the streak, though. We are at 262 episodes of, 262 episodes of the live stream in a row without missing a beat. And then we pull off, sometimes 4 and 5 hour live streams. And I want to thank those of you who made nice comments about how I take this as a very strong compliment of my work and to my health versus the other influencers out there who are all turning pinkish red because their livers are bad. But anyway, when people are saying that I can keep things going for 5 hours straight and not like lose it, I do actually. Joe has noticed, and I have noticed, when I get around the 4.5 hour mark, I do start to, there's a little bit of, I can feel it in my brain. It's like my brain's running out of juice. But yes, that does happen. But I do like being able to hold it together for 4.5, 5 hours. Sometimes it's a little too much to do every week. Anyway, so we have lots of things to talk about today. Just so you guys know, in the chat, I'm probably only going to have time to get to super chats if you decide to do that, because I got to shorten these up. I know some of you love the 5 hour things, but I got to figure out how to make these shorter, because I just talk too much and it's too much for people to keep up with. So anyway, wanted to go over a couple of things. One, for those of you, I talked in office hours, which is the support and troubleshooting and guidance thing that we do for Kelsey and my testing and consultation package clients that's inside the Love Your Liver program. I was talking to people about how people have been feeling lately, because there was some other stuff before the Lionsgate portal, and there's stuff going on now in the Lionsgate portal, and this is an astrological thing. So for those of you who don't believe in anything about astrology, I was reminding people, I say millionaires don't believe in astrology and billionaires base their moves on it. So some people apparently believe in it, and it seems to affect people differently. Now, talking to people, obviously there's been the fires. There's been fires in, as far as I know, I haven't researched them more, but there's been fires in Canada. There's been fires in Idaho, central Idaho. There's been fires in Spokane, Washington. There's been fires in California. There's been fires in Colorado. Basically fires all up and down the west side of the country. Who knows if it's related to increased activity of magma under the surface? Who knows if it's related to arson? Who knows if they just want to cover up the Earth activity with arson stories? Anyway, there's a lot of stuff going on. So there was a lot of smoke. Now, started talking about the smoke in the office hours, and people were saying, yes, they were having very dry mouths and, trouble with their sinuses, trouble with frequent waking at night and restlessness. Not necessarily terrible insomnia. They would fall back asleep, but they were waking up a lot. And there was just kind of a general, like, when I brought up this stuff, people were like, yeah, I was having this. And there was a gentleman from Lithuania, where there's no fires, who was having the very dry mouth at night and the restless sleeping. And there was people in other parts of the US who were not in smoke or fires, and they were having the same problem. So I just want to hit on this real quick. Joe, if you can show that Schumann picture, that would be great. If you have that available, I sent it to you in Telegram. I'll just wait for that. But so I'll put it on the Lionsgate thing, and I'll share my screen. So yeah, I'm on a totally new computer, so that's why we have a different camera. And we just, Joe and I, we just wanted to get it done. No, Joe, it's here. I'll find it for you. It was a picture I sent to Kelsey, and I said, "This is BS." Let me see. We're sending it now. There it is, Joe. That's the one I want. But I can do that after I go over this Lionsgate thing. Okay, so Again, I'm not a huge astrological thing, but this apparently seems to be something. So it is from July 28th to August 12th. So if you've been kind of feeling not so great since July 28th, around there, or even like right before that, this may be affecting you. It's just, it is what it is. And with its peak energy happening on August 8th, which just so happens to be, today is 8/8. Just want to say that, so there's all this stuff about, infinity, balance, and prosperity. And so the people who are all like, almost like toxically positive at times will look at all this and they'll be like, oh my goodness, it's so wonderful. Yay. And then I'm sitting here going, okay, so I have a bunch of people I know, including clients and friends and family, who are not feeling good right now. Okay. This is not showing, oh wait, they're not showing the negative symptoms. So let me find it. Let me find this, because it was listing out the exact symptoms that people were having. Fatigue and lethargy. There was another thing I got about this, which was that people were feeling drained even though they were getting enough rest. They were feeling really tired. Then they didn't put on here, there was restlessness and frequent waking. I just don't have the same search. It's not giving me the same results because I used a different search. Let me see what else I can get here. If we can pull it up real quick. Yeah, here's just somebody on Reddit, not felt well since the Lionsgate portal. Anyway, feeling of being drained. What else do we have? Tinnitus. For those of you who get tinnitus when you're detoxing, you may have noticed that, or other things. You can just look at this list here. Sleep disruptions. The biggest one we've been hearing about is waking up frequently. People are going back to sleep and then feeling unrested after long periods of sleep. So anyway, this is just stuff that's been going on. Call it space weather, call it planetary alignments, call it whatever. Does it affect people? Yeah. So if you didn't even know this was going on and you were wondering and you're going, I'm not affected by space weather, and you've been feeling like you're not sleeping well and you're not feeling rested and you're having other symptoms right now and you're going, what is going on? Is it my supplements? Am I detoxing? Is it whatever? Do I think it's a detox? Yes. Let me be clear about how I feel about space weather and these things. If, for most normal people who are not listening to this, because normies hate my stuff is way above normie and NPC level. They can't handle it at all. So normies just, they don't get this. But if you are feeling it, this stuff can affect you. And the good news is if you are doing this stuff, like the binders we're about to talk about today, and you're doing stuff to not put poisons in and to help get poisons out, when you have these symptoms, do I think these symptoms are from stirred up, bile dumps, toxins being stirred up, stuff coming out into your system? Yes. Yes, it makes more sense that energetics would cause us to stir up physical things in us that then cause us symptoms, right? So, I mean, like, even if you were in a microwave, right? The microwaves are doing something, but they're really heating your tissue. They are physically heating you. They are changing the tissue. So that's the thing about, oh, Joe wants me to turn off stuff in the background. I don't think there's a lot to turn off, Joe. No. I mean, I guess I could turn off Telegram on my computer. There we go. Okay. That's what I can do. Okay. So anyway, these symptoms that you get are what I do believe are forms of toxicity getting stirred up, which is how you get rid of toxins. That if the toxins don't come out of their places, you can't get rid of them. And we've had multiple people saying they smell strange. Sometimes people are saying they smell like vitamins, like old vitamins coming out, or their pee smells like vitamins, or they smell more like their pee smells more like ammonia, or we hear stuff coming out. They might have loose bowels. They might have strange smelling bowels, strange smelling sweat, feeling tired, not feeling like exercising, these things. Anyway, so all this is going on. Just wanted to say, here's the peak today. We're at the peak of it. If this is what's going on, it's the peak, and it should be coming down. And then Joe, did you show that Schumann yet? Did you have that? There we go. Show that Schumann. So this was like 2 days ago, and this was 3 days worth of Schumann. So to the right side was the most recent day, and then you go back and you can see that if you look at the 15s, I just picked the 15 just so there's a 15 on that big right white blast, and then if you go to the 15, that's the other night, and then the 15 before that is the other night. So anyway, this was crazy Schumann. Those of you who follow the Schumann, and then there's this blacked out area. You see the blacked out area? Why would it be blacked out? Why would they lose signal all of a sudden? Are they trying to hide something there? Anyway, the Schumann was bonkers, and people were saying they were restless sleeping and waking up hot and all sorts of stuff like that. So there is legit things going on right now, and then there's also the Lionsgate thing, which for whatever you believe in that, you don't have to believe in anything at all. If it affects you, then there's something there. So that's it on the Lionsgate. So just know if you've had some emotional issues, some irritability, some fatigue, some anxiety, some just other stuff going on, and then if all of a sudden, let's say you get to today or to August 12th and it all kind of fades away, then you might think maybe it was that. And then next year, if it's coming around, you might be able to prepare better. Now, they also say that this is a time of like supposedly manifesting and creating and all that stuff. And I can tell you that I've gotten started on a cool new project, which is I'm assembling all of my information, all of the Love Your Liver program, all of the old research blog forum, all of the research database that we have that David Hagerston helped me put together. We have over 8,000 studies in that document that I've quoted here. I don't know if I'll be able to bring GLASP into it. And then I'm going to get the transcripts from all of my videos. So you can imagine 8 years of live streams and office hours and inner circles and all that. And I'm going to have that all in a searchable database. So then I can, one of the reasons that I was having trouble thinking about where do I start with consolidating all of this, and how do I was worried, I guess I was concerned with losing things, like losing valuable things that I had come up with along the way because I just didn't remember them when I rewrite it. So now I'll have all my quotes, and I can put my seminars in there and access those. And so and I could even make a chat bot for people. We may do this inside the Love Your Liver program. This is a thought of mine. It's possible we could have a chat bot, a Q&A chat bot, where people are asking questions of me, and it'll give you quotes from the things I've done. Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, we already have down in the info box. Sorry, I hit my mic. Down in the info box, there is a searchable transcript tool. And I've got to talk to the gentleman who made that about possibly using how he's using the transcripts. Anyway, I know I have a ton of stuff out there. I never would have gotten all this stuff out there had I not done videos. Because this is where as Kelsey told me, I am an external processor. So I figure things out by talking with them. That's why having patients and clients was good for me. And that's why doing this is good for me, because I talk it out and I figure out things as I go. Some of you have been lucky enough to see me figure out things on these shows. So now that I've said all that and I don't have time to review all of it, I can do this now. So in terms of creating something, in terms of the Lionsgate portal and manifesting and creating new things, I was like, you should have seen me working yesterday, getting all this stuff, figuring all this stuff out and putting it all into this new database. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, so there's that going on. So let's go to, I wanted to show Joe, I wanted to show this. Yesterday, Kelsey was a guest on Beth Martens' podcast, the Beth of Fresh Air. It was episode 39, Get De-Nickeled with Kelsey, or Get De-Nickeled 4 with guest Kelsey Kenny. And then she did a previous episode with Kelsey as well. Oh, wait, she's got another one. I didn't realize she'd had Kelsey on so many. Kelsey. Why do I keep trying to say it like Kelsey? Anyway, So there's 3 episodes. If you go to, so Beth's channel is King Hero's Journey with Beth Martens, and you can find these episodes there. I was in the chat a little bit yesterday. It was fun, and she did a great job. So if you guys want to go and listen to it from her, she is doing our testing and consultation packages right now, almost exclusively. So, and she's been trained by me. She's pretty amazing. So I am so lucky to have her around. We are all very lucky to have her around, and she's the one bringing us the PEA and the flush niacin and all that stuff. So let us get into the topic of the day now. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Intuitive IFS therapy says your vitality, enthusiasm are increasing, shows it is all working and bringing in blessing. It really, like Joe said at the end of one of the 5-hour live streams, he's like, you're not even tired anymore. And yeah, so, and I was kind of coming out of it, and I went right into the inner circle after that. So now we'll do this episode today, and then I'm planning on doing our normal episode on Tuesday. Got to decide what the topic is. But anyway, we will get it done. But yeah, it's very exciting. Actually, I told Joe yesterday as I was making the database, because Joe is huge. Joe geeks out on AI. Joe, we love you, and you love doing stuff with AI, and he's good at it. And I decided that I was going to do. I didn't want to pay somebody to do this, and I went, you know what? I could save. Joe actually told me how much money I might have saved by doing this myself. He was saying it could have been 20 grand for me to have somebody do it for me, and I was like, no, just chat GPT it and make it work. And it's been going great. So I'm learning as I go, and then I'll have it all, and I'll know how to do it all again in case it ever needs to happen again. So anyway, and then I have Joe as help if I ever need it. I can bounce questions off of him. So it's very exciting. So I told Joe I was like really excited. I was like, I feel like, you know, it's discipline, not motivation, but I was like, I feel motivated again. I feel like a spark has come back. Before it was like I was trying to give myself grace, because I was realizing, okay, so if I only saw clients, right? That's a whole business in itself, right? So if I only saw clients, that would be a whole business in itself. If I only had a supplement company, that would be a whole business in itself. If I was only a YouTube influencer, that could be a whole business in itself. If I was only changing the medical paradigm, that would be a whole business in itself. If I was only trying to put a book together, that might be a whole thing in itself. And so I was like, wow. So for those of you who are wondering, let's say, why is the Love Your Liver program not updated? Why is every link in the I mean, seriously, folks, if you're going to ask me why the links are, some of the links that I've used over the years on the Love Your Liver program are dead, it's called link rot. Do I have time to keep up with every single link that dies? No, I don't. I'm sorry. I'm just one man. We are literally a 3-person business. 4. I'm sorry, 4. We have 4. And we're small, and we're just trying to keep up with stuff. So if you're wondering why I haven't done all these things, now I'm kind of excited, because now I feel like I can catch up. I feel like I have something that can give me back the information that I want, and then I can package it up in the way that I do. So it's kind of an exciting time, and I was very happy yesterday. Joe saw it in me, and yeah, the spark kind of came back, because I was just overwhelmed with all the things I have to deal with, and all the people I have to take care of, and then business on top of that. So I'm giving myself grace. If you guys want to do that too, we have lots of plans for the future. I just finally had to figure out how to do it. And then during this time of upheaval, I kind of came to something. So let's start talking about binders. Okay. So just so you guys know, yes, I'm going to talk about things that we sell, because we literally make the best stuff out there. I mean, we do. And I'm also going to talk about some other products that are sold other places. So for those of you who are in the Love Your Liver program, don't forget, you have access to the, right up here, you have access to this VIP store. It's password protected. Love Your Liver members only. And you get discounts on all the supplements. Okay. I'm going to be showing you pictures from the shop, from the normal public store without discounts, but you know where to go to find them. Okay. So first thing we're going to go to. Since the nickel detox has become such a part of what we do, it is, this is the thing. This is where we are going. And now we understand why the vitamin A problem has come about so much, is because especially nickel has slowed it down. And I think nickel slows down everything. So we're going to talk first about Pecticlear. Now, Joe, I sent Joe the episode about, if you want to watch an episode where I talk about Pecticlear and Pectisol and alginates in terms of nickel detox, Joe, I sent you that link. That was the, which one was it? Let me look here. I got to do it on my phone because I don't have my, didn't I send that to you? There it is. Yeah, here, yeah, the nickel detox secrets. It's Love Your Liver 251. Okay, so Pecticlear. What is Pecticlear? Pecticlear is a combination of, one capsule is 2/3 Pectisol, which is modified citrus pectin. Okay, so if I say Pectisol and modified citrus pectin, they're the same thing. It needs to be low molecular weight modified citrus pectin. So we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about alginates. Now, modified citrus pectin, Pectisol, this is digested. It's broken down a bit into smaller pieces. This is the only binder, other than pharmaceutical ones, which we're going to talk about why you don't want. This is the only binder that goes into your bloodstream and is intended to go into your bloodstream. Apple pectin is not this. Low molecular weight modified citrus pectin. MCP is the abbreviation, okay? So the Pectisol itself, let me show that. So we'll just show each of these as we go. So this is Pectisol. These are the capsules right here. So this says, you see here, modified citrus pectin. Okay. I wouldn't really say it's a super nutrient because you don't use it anyway. But this is the EcoNugenics Pectisol product. We're working on our own variation of Pecticlear right now. So, and we will have it at a better price point and cleaner without some of the additional ingredients. So keep your eyes open for that. But anyway, Pectisol, we have this available in the store right now. This is what I use on a daily basis. I mean, I use Pecticlear on a daily basis, but remember, Pecticlear is 2/3 Pectisol and 1/3 Alginate, which is an alginate that's broken down a little more too. Okay, so anyway, Pectisol can go into your bloodstream and it can start pulling things out of your bloodstream. I mean, out of your tissues into the bloodstream. Okay, this is good. And can you do Pectisol by itself? Yes. Okay. The thing about that, the reason the company, EcoNugenics, and this is a very good concept that they had, the reason they made Pecticlear is because the MCP, the Pectisol, can go into your bloodstream and start grabbing stuff and carrying it out through the kidneys and also down to the bile and out the poop. However, you can also, that stuff, when it goes down to the bile and into the poop, you can reabsorb some of the toxins and recirculate them. We've talked about this a bunch, enterohepatic circulation. So what they did, and they specifically talk about this, is they added the alginate, their special alginate, to the Pecticlear capsules so that it would grab onto the nickel or the toxins in the gut, in the bile. So basically the bile and the toxins and all the stuff that's in it, the copper, the toxic metals, the nickel, all the stuff that's in the bile. And so the alginate part was meant to grab this stuff in the gut so it doesn't get reabsorbed. So you have the modified citrus pectin, the pectisol that goes into the bloodstream, starts pulling stuff out, grabbing stuff, carrying it out through the kidneys, because it's in the blood, it can get to the kidneys, and then it can come down to the liver. Liver puts it in the bile, it goes into the poop, but that's where you could reabsorb it, because your gut reabsorbs everything. Remember, your skin doesn't really distinguish what it absorbs. It just absorbs things, and your gut just absorbs things. So, also, most of the nickel in your diet, you don't, here's how scary nickel is. We don't absorb that much nickel from our food. It's enough to cause problems, but most of the nickel stays in your food in the poop. So imagine you only absorb a little bit of that nickel. But what if we could absorb even less? And this is why the Pecticlear is so important during the early phases of a low nickel diet or of nickel detox to keep your symptoms down. So yes, Pecticlear is not cheap. And can you just get Pectisol, the powder? That would be the least expensive. And can you get sodium alginate and potassium alginate and use those? Yeah. Powdered alginate's a bit more of a pain to use, and I'll go over that later. So, let's see. So anyway, so remember, Pectisol, MCP right now, that's the only one that gets into your bloodstream. This is unique of all the binders that we use. Then there's the alginate. Why don't I go over those right now? Hold on, let me go. Since I'm talking about alginates and since I like them so much, let me find it. Sodium alginate. There we go. Looks like they made some new packaging. Okay, so here we are. Okay, so let's be clear here. Pectisol, modified citrus pectin. I'm going to show those real quick just so you know. Pectisol, modified citrus pectin, 2/3 of a capsule of Pecticlear. Let's go over that. Here's the powder. Powders are always less expensive. Here's the powder. You can mix it yourself. Does it taste bad? No. You can go, we don't carry the flavored ones, like the lime flavored that's got stevia in it and other like lime flavor or whatever it is. We don't carry those. But if you want to get those, you can. This is the Pectisol powder. Okay, so we got the Pectisol powder, got the Pectisol capsules. Pecticlear only comes in capsules. Why? Because alginates, as you'll find out, are not as user-friendly in a powder. And I'll go over that, okay? So that's those three. I prefer, like, during the, as I've mentioned on that other show, during the times of the roughest detox, the roughest nickel detox, I have people, if they choose to, there is no research anywhere that suggests that modified citrus pectin causes problems or that alginate causes problems in high doses. Oh, I did actually. I don't know that I'll have this study today, but I found a paper saying that alginate long-term in mice caused no mineral deficiencies of good minerals. And they were specifically looking at like the minerals that we use. They were looking at sodium, magnesium, potassium, zinc. They might have looked at selenium. They were looking at all the major ones that we work on. And alginates caused no deficiencies over something like 6 months or a year of giving mice alginate. The binders we choose here do not deplete nutrients. There is no evidence of them depleting nutrients. And even like with potassium alginate, sodium alginate, our ZeoLyte that's charged with electrolytes, it's got potassium, magnesium, sodium, and calcium in it. It actually puts minerals into your body. We'll talk about that. So if you wanted to do alginate and you want to do the powder, so I know cost is an issue, and I know a lot of you out there are pretty hardcore. And so if something's going to help you feel better, you don't really care that much about the taste, which I'm kind of like that. If it's really working and it helps, the taste is like, nah, I'll do it. Okay. Now, then there's the people who don't like the taste, don't like the texture, don't want to deal with mixing things. That's Pecticlear or the Pectisol capsules. Okay. So here we're talking about sodium alginate powder. Now, this is the brand I like. This is Cape Crystal Brands. Why do I like them? Because they're the only company that I could find on Amazon sells no potassium alginate. Okay. Cape Crystal Brands does. And if I ever make, when we make the Pectaclear variant of ours, not only will it not have any of the additional ingredients that we would love not to be in the Pectaclear, but it will have sodium alginate and potassium alginate in it. Okay, so here's sodium alginate. This is the Cape Crystal Brands. This is what I've been using. And then let me find the potassium alginate. Like I said, this was the only place that was easy to find these things. Okay. So I believe if you were doing the full, sorry, I didn't say this, the Pectaclear could go up to 6 pills 3 times a day. There have been people who have done more. That's kind of the big, heavy dosing that we use during the hardest parts of the nickel detox, okay? So yeah, that's 18 pills a day. That bottle of Pectaclear is 180 capsules. That means that bottle will be used up in 10 days. Yeah, it's not cheap. The low nickel diet and the detox symptoms that happen during it suck. I've had people come back to me and say, yeah, the Pectaclear was totally worth it because the detox sucked and this made it so much better. So if you want to, hold on, Joe, let me see what you put. Oh, okay, the links. Yeah, okay, so I'll get, I need a second screen. I don't have my second screen anymore. I used to be able to just chat with Joe in it. Here, let me get, Joe, let me get this. I'll put this in the chat. Oh, wait. Yeah, see, now I'm hearing my echo. There we go. Got that. There's that. Okay, Jen mentioned sodium alginate has issues as well, can be contaminated with heavy metals. Okay, ask for a COA. And can cause bowel obstruction. Let me be clear about bowel obstruction with binders. Okay. Bowel obstruction with binders typically comes about, let's say, from people who are extremely constipated. This is the only problem that happens with charcoal. Like, it's the only known real problem with charcoal is that, let's say you have somebody who tends to be constipated. Charcoal can tend to worsen constipation. And then they take an obscene amount of charcoal. Okay. Let's say they thought they were poisoned. So you have somebody who's really constipated in general, and then they take a ton of charcoal. And then let's add to that they don't drink enough water with it. Oh, Jen added, my hair's coming in great, by the way. Yeah, it's actually been, I was up at Kelsey's for 2 weeks moving stuff up there, and I was kind of happy about it because I didn't check my crown. Like, sometimes I get a little obsessive in checking it to see if it's coming in, and I didn't check it for 2 weeks, and I came back and I was like, oh yeah, it's still coming. I'll get pictures for you guys soon. I'm trying to wait until it's like really good, but yes, it is coming in good. I can tell now. I can tell. But yeah, so think about this. Okay, so here's an important thing to know about binders. And so Jen, I thank you for bringing up the bowel obstruction. I don't want to say that I'm like, this is the only risk with binders. How do you avoid this risk? First of all, you need to drink enough water with binders. Binders suck up water. Binders suck up a ton of water. That's how they work, right? If you want to do charcoal to like detox something, you don't rub dry charcoal powder on it, right? It has to be wet. ZeoLyte can suck up something like 50% of its weight in water. I think it was 60%. And then alginate. Alginate doesn't work until, like, alginate, I think, soaks up water so quick on the outside of it that it turns into little balls, and you have to let it sit there so it can slowly soak up the water and turn into the clear mixable stuff. Okay. The biggest problem with binders is lack of water with them, or just jumping in too fast. and taking more than you know how your bowels handle. Do we talk about taking less to start with? Yes. So with binders, you're gonna, if you take binders, some of you out there know, some of you out there know that if you take binders and let's say you don't drink enough water, you start to get thirsty because the binders are just sucking up the liquid in you. Okay, because they need it. They're gonna get the liquid. So if you're, first of all, let me troubleshoot this more. If you're constipated, be very careful with charcoal. Charcoal tends to constipate. Here's the other thing though. If you're constipated, ZeoLyte tends to move your bowels better as long as you get enough water. Okay. Oh, well, I'll answer this question. Time is always ready. You're from the UK and your wife is going to be ordering one of your testing consultations. Is the process different when working with overseas clients with their blood work? Overseas clients, we can't order blood work for you, so you have to get the blood work yourself. If you can't get it, we can deal with that. We would rather have the blood work, but you got to figure out how to order the blood work yourself. We can't order it over there. That's just the way it is. So if you get it, that's great. If you can't, then Kelsey will deal with just the hair test. So yeah, that's how that works. Jen said, I'm looking a bit like the actor Sam Neill now. LOL. Wait, let me find, hold on. You know who Kelsey wanted me to be, was it 2? Let me see. Who's the guy? There it is. Let me find out who the actor is. It's kind of a funny thing. I always forget the guy's name. Where was he? Joel Kinnaman. Apparently, I don't know. Here, I'll share this. Kelsey thinks I look like this guy, and she wanted me to be what was it, Colonel Flag or whatever for Halloween. I don't know. I take this. I take that as a pretty good compliment. But Sam O'Neill, yeah, I just let people say people used to say I looked like when I was a kid and I was wearing a black mouth guard in Kenpo karate. They said I looked like Drago, like Dolph Lundgren. So I don't know. Thank you for the compliment. I take it as a compliment. So anyway, let's get back to it. So okay, I'm kind of off center now. Yeah, I moved my mic too much. There we go. Okay. So yeah, so we were talking. Okay, so we covered Pectisol. We're on the alginates. Let me go back to the alginates. Okay, so potassium alginate. Okay, so here's the important thing to know about the other thing to know. So constipation, ZeoLyte's probably your best friend. Joe, if you can put up the link to the ZeoLyte show, if you're going to do just ZeoLyte is okay. Why don't we hit on ZeoLyte then right now? Why don't we hit on ZeoLyte? If you're going to do ZeoLyte, remember, I have a whole video on it about the dosing paradox with ZeoLyte. So if you're just doing ZeoLyte, this ZeoLyte and niacin don't fit my normal doc. It hurts when I do this. Well, then don't do that. ZeoLyte, if you're doing, this is the only binder you're doing, or maybe you're just doing like charcoal with it, you need to take enough ZeoLyte, or you could get symptoms from it stirring up toxicity. Okay, so you might need to start with 3 scoops, 4 scoops, 5 scoops, 6 scoops. Some people had to start with 10 scoops a day. If that's all the main binder they're using to keep the symptoms down. Do they start feeling better doing that? Yes. Yes, they do. Now, the other thing I want to tell you is, let's say you're doing the Pecticlear or the Pectisol, or if you want to do Pectosorm, as an important thing to know about ZeoLyte. ZeoLyte stays in your gut. ZeoLyte is very good at grabbing nickel in your gut. So if you wanted to do a variation, if you didn't want to do the alginates and you like ZeoLyte, and maybe you tend to be constipated, so you'd rather do the ZeoLyte, Pectisol, the powder, just the MCP, to go into the bloodstream and grab stuff and get stuff moving. And then you do ZeoLyte to grab it in your gut. Okay. So you could do, instead of alginates, you could do ZeoLyte. Both ZeoLyte and the alginates grab onto nickel very well in the gut. And I do think that if you're doing Pectisol and you tolerate it, or you're doing Pecticlear and you tolerate it, or even if you're doing alginates and you tolerate it, then that will make it so you don't have to take as high a dose of ZeoLyte. Okay. But ZeoLyte, especially if you're going through the nickel detox and you're getting stomach symptoms like upset stomach, nausea, you know, my tummy hurts kind of thing, because I had that. I totally had that. ZeoLyte can really get you out of it. Like, what am I doing right now? Because I don't have my full stash of stuff, because I took it up to Kelsey's and I left it there, and now I got to restock my stash down here. Now I'm doing Pectisol and ZeoLyte. That's my binders for now. I'm getting restocked on Monday. I got to order from my own shop to get stuff to have it around here. But I still had some ZeoLyte left, and I have the Pectisol that was helping my mom. On that note, as I was gone up to Kelsey's, in the 2 weeks I was gone, my mom had started the PEA. My mom has Parkinsonism, and she has been improving. This was one of the first things that we've seen that has helped her improve. PEA in the research. PEA is not a fluke, folks. It's not some duration paradox thing. I keep hitting PRs in the gym. Like, every time I go to the gym, I'm sending my son like a text that like everything's getting better. Everything's going up. And we had somebody in one of our office hours, a gentleman and his wife, they're runners. They do marathons, and they're saying they're getting faster since adding the PEA. It's not a performance enhancing drug. It's a lipid molecule that helps with reducing inflammation and helps things work better. It's not an anti-inflammatory. Your body makes it. Wait until you see. You want to know a funny thing? Oh, actually, I should go over that today. Anyway, okay, I'm all over the place. ZeoLyte. The other thing about ZeoLyte is it is charged. It is cleaned. So they clean ZeoLyte. It's a water process, just like if you go watch Jacobsen Salt. They clean Jacobsen Salt with a water process. So they're basically washing the salt, and it lets go of the toxic metals and all the other crap in it, and then they recrystallize the salt after it's let go of its stuff. Well, ZeoLyte, the process is similar. It's a water process. And then what they do is they add the minerals back to it. They add calcium and magnesium and sodium and potassium. So then what you want to do, as Kelsey, will repeatedly tell me, is ion exchange is the most energy efficient way to get toxic minerals out and good minerals in. So when you see sodium alginate, you see potassium alginate, you see our ZeoLyte that has the basic 4 mineral electrolytes in it. And people will say, well, why don't they just make it empty? Why don't they just make it alginate or ZeoLyte without, ZeoLyte out in nature, what does ZeoLyte do? It grabs onto toxic metals. You don't want uncleaned ZeoLyte. You don't want it. I experimented with uncleaned ZeoLyte. I never sold it. I got some issues and I fixed all of them. So, never use uncleaned ZeoLyte. You must, if you want to be safe, you need to use cleaned ZeoLyte, and then they add the minerals to it. So what happens is it comes into your body. So you got the ZeoLyte coming in, and it's got like an electrolyte, one of the calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium. When it comes across a bad toxic metal or something worse than what it's holding, when it comes across something that is more typically, we call it positively charged. Toxins tend to be very positively charged. So when it comes across something more positively charged, it lets go of its electrolyte that was put there on purpose, and it grabs onto the toxic metal. And it carries that until it comes across something worse, where it would then let go of the toxic metal for the more toxic metal. Okay? Sodium alginate would do this. Give away its sodium. Grab a toxic metal. Potassium alginate, same thing. So yes, you are supplementing minerals in a way when you take potassium alginate, sodium alginate, ZeoLyte. Charcoal doesn't have this. Charcoal's not charged. Most soluble fibers aren't charged, but apparently what Kelsey tells me is the activation energy for if you had empty alginate or empty ZeoLyte, the activation energy to move it in is greater. You want it to be easier. Ion exchange is easier. So anyway, let me hit on this one chat that Joe was sending me. Where was it? Joe, can you just show that on the... Oh, there it is. David was saying, liquid ZeoLyte has been investigated to cause a whole host of issues and is now being exposed on social media for the main cause of causing long-term illness. I have been over this before. Yes, I have been over this before. Thank you for bringing it up. Liquid ZeoLyte is a fraud. Imagine if somebody told you, like liquid ZeoLyte that is clear, okay? Clear liquid ZeoLyte. Imagine if somebody told you, hey, we're now selling clear milk. It's really cool. It's totally milk. It's totally milk. It works even better than milk, but it's clear. Would you look at him and be like, dude, like milk is not clear. Ever. There is no milk that is clear. Oh, no, totally. We made it in the lab and we nanostructured it and we did all this stuff. No. Kelsey was hired by a company that wanted a liquid ZeoLyte that was clear. Maybe I'll have her come on and talk about it someday. She was hired by a company to be unnamed, but they are out there selling clear ZeoLyte now. She said, I won't make it because to make clear ZeoLyte, you have to, okay, so you need to understand this, and we're not going to hide this. ZeoLyte is cages, like think of molecular cages of aluminum and silica. It has been shown over and over in the research that if you have, when you clean the ZeoLyte, you get rid of any broken cages. You get rid of the toxic metals and you get rid of any broken cages. You don't want broken cages, as you're going to understand in a second, but you want it to be solid molecules, okay? So what do people have to do? So again, it is aluminum and silica, but you don't absorb aluminum. I went over that research. So for anybody who's saying, like, they don't understand that, like, you can eat wood and poop out wood because you can't break it down. Like, you don't break down ZeoLyte. That's not already broken. Okay? So what people have to do to make a clear ZeoLyte is they add strong acids to the ZeoLyte. And they break apart the ZeoLyte. And then the silica and the aluminum can be soluble in the water. And so they look clear. So they're literally, liquid ZeoLyte is either one of two things. It is blasted apart, chemically dissolved ZeoLyte that is now aluminum and silica in water, and it looks clear. Or there is so little actual ZeoLyte in the water that it still looks clear. So you're either taking like homeopathic doses of ZeoLyte practically, or there's literally no more ZeoLyte in the liquid at all. That is the chemistry of it. This would be like, okay, so you know how I said only a teeny bit of ZeoLyte in the water and it could still look clear? Imagine if you had a gallon of water and you put in, I don't know, a dropper full of milk. And then you try to claim that that's milk. And you're like, it's clear milk. It's totally clear. That's what they're doing. And so if we were seeing long-term problems in liquid ZeoLyte users, it's because liquid ZeoLyte is a fraud and it's bullshit. And if it's made the way I'm talking about, it's literally toxic. As the research has shown over and over, like legit ZeoLyte does amazing things and it doesn't raise the aluminum levels in the body. You don't want to take ZeoLyte because you're worried about the aluminum thing? Don't. I've been taking it regularly. I've been taking ZeoLyte regularly since before we put out the product. Do I look like I'm falling apart? How's my brain doing? Am I falling apart because I've got aluminum in my brain? No, hardly. So ZeoLyte has been an amazing supplement for a very long time. And then there's the people out there who are trying to badmouth ZeoLyte because they're like, pharmaceutical companies study ZeoLyte. And it's like, they have to get toxic metals out of their stuff. That's why they use charcoal too. Do they have studies on activated carbon to take toxic stuff out? Yeah. Oh, it's just carbon's a pharma thing. Oh my goodness, people. Remember, the people out there who are anti all supplements are doing it for a reason. Remember, if you're anti-pharma and you're anti-supplements, you're left with food and water. How's the food out there these days? If you take away all of your options, let's say there's some good supplements out there, but because the less intelligent people are, the less they can handle nuance. Nuance might be like, there's some supplements that are good and the rest of them are shite. Wait, who says that? But let's say, like in that guy, I forget the guy who was talking about communist Russia and what who's the current guy over there? Why am I not remembering his name? Anyway, what they do is they need to keep their populace confused. Putin over there. Putin's been sponsoring what they do. They've literally talked about this. This is what they do, and they're doing it here. To keep the populace from creating resistance, they must keep them confused and they must keep them divided. And so what they do is they sponsor both sides, especially the extremes of both sides. Oh, imagine if we had pro-pharma and everything pharma is good and everything that's not pharma is BS. And then you have now the people are like, yeah, pharma's BS and all supplements are BS. And then you have normies in between them going, I don't know what to do and does not compute, gonna explode. That's what they're doing. They're paying the anti-supplement people to go too far with it. Oh, if you get sick, just rest in spring water. Okay. We're the people who are making it so people don't get sick anymore. Because I'm going to tell you, getting sick is a nickel dump. After being up in the wildfire smoke, Kelsey was like, that smoke is full of nickel. And if you think about it, that wildfire smoke is also full of, I don't know, those trails of chemicals that are sprayed across the sky that are full of metals. Trails of chemicals that come down. Then they would land on the trees and on the forest floor. And then when the wildfires happen, where do you think they all go? Up into the smoke? And then you're breathing it and you're getting coated in it. Well, I came home after that trip up to Idaho, where we were breathing in Canada fires and Spokane fires and all that. And a couple days after I got home, first I got a runny nose the first day. Really bad runny nose. What's detox? Like, I'm literally running it out of my nose. Next day, I got, just like I did when I first did the nickel detox, I got a cough right at bedtime. Went for a little while, then disappeared. The first time I got the nickel cough on the low nickel diet, I had it for 3 days. It was really bad the first night, about half as bad the second night, quarter as bad the third night, and then it was gone. This was no big deal with the cough. I just noticed it. I was like, wait, I don't cough. It's a bedtime cough. I was just breathing in a lot of crap. I was literally doing, I shouldn't have done this, but I was doing yard work out when the smoke was out. Kelsey really did not like me doing that. She was kind of a little irritated at me for doing it. And I wanted to get the yard looking nice and just everything going. And it was something I could do. So I did. So maybe I paid a little bit for it, but that smoke was full of toxic stuff. So if you can avoid it, or you can make that DIY filter on, if you look on This Old House, if you type in This Old House DIY filter, you'll find it. And you can make a filter for like under $100, a good air filter for stuff like that. So, let's see. Let me get back to it. Okay, so we've talked about Pectisol, we talked about Pecticlear, we talked about alginates. Alginates. Let's talk about alginates real quick. Let me go back here. So first, alginates. I think I went over this in another show, but I need to go over alginates here. Okay. Why does EcoNugenics sell Pecticlear with the alginate in the capsule? Because if you try to mix alginate powder and water, just mix them together, like you put the powder in the glass and you add water to it, or vice versa, it's going to make alginate clumps. It's going to make globs. So you can drink that, right? It's got all the water. It's got all the alginate in your stomach. It's going to combine. And it's fine. If you don't mind the clumps, you can drink the clumps. There's no big deal. But most Americans and most people are just like, oh, the clumps. Oh, I can't drink that. And it doesn't taste bad, but they're just like not going to drink it. That's fine. I didn't want to drink it the first time I saw it either. I was like, ugh. And then I tried it once when I just had to, and I was like, that was no big deal, but I don't want to do it. I'd rather not do it every day. Next thing you can do, you put the alginate powder in the water, you stir it up, and then if you let it sit for enough hours, don't put it in the fridge, right? What do things do when they're cold? They thicken more. Don't put the alginate in the fridge. Just let it sit on your counter. Warm reactions, chemical reactions go faster when it's warm. So leave it on your counter. Don't put it in your fridge. And then if you try to drink cold, extra thick alginate goo, it's going to be harder. It's going to be grosser. So don't. So if you leave it on your counter for enough hours, some people said 3 hours. Another company said overnight. And you have enough water with it, the alginate will dissolve, the clumps will dissolve, and you can mix it up. Now, it's still going to be thicker than normal water. Like 2 teaspoons of alginate in a pint of water was really thick. A teaspoon's probably a good dose. Now, just so you know, the rough equivalent, in 18 capsules of Pecticlear, there's about a teaspoon of alginate. Okay, now I've gotten some reports back that so remember, in Pecticlear, it's Alginate. It's their trademarked, broken down a little bit extra alginate. Got some feedback from somebody who said it took more sodium and potassium alginate powder to get the same effect as Pecticlear. So whatever they did to that alginate may have made it more effective. It's possible. Okay, so alginate powder. Oh, the other thing you can do with the alginate powder. Okay, so you can, if you want to mix it up and you don't want to wait hours for it to mix. First of all, you could blend it. You could mix it together and it gets the clumps. And if you have a immersion blender, right, the blenders where it's got the spinner down here, and the things they make the mayo out of, right? So you put the immersion blender in it and you just break up the chunks. Done. Okay. The other thing you could do is you could put it in a blender. You can just blend it up if you want. You could, if you have one of those, like the supplement or the coffee blenders, the ones that's just the little spinner, the little hand ones, not the immersion blender. The immersion blender is like the steroid hand blender. And then there's the little supplement blenders or the coffee blenders or whatever you want to call them. Those, if you put them in and it's got the capability to spin the water, like you can actually create a whirlpool with it, you can sprinkle in the alginate powder slowly as it's going, and it will mix it all in. You just can't have the alginate clumped together, okay? And then finally, there is one way to be able to mix alginate into water without having to do all of that. You must pay attention. You have to mix the alginate powder with other powders first. The general rule is 5 times as much other powders as the alginate powder. So if you had a teaspoon of alginate powder, you need to have 5 to 6 teaspoons of other powders. and you mix them together first. You have to space out the alginate molecules so they can't clump. If you're using something else that clumps with the alginate, it's going to clump. Or if you don't have enough other non-clumping things. So like what have I done before? I mean, in my detox sludge at times, there's been a scoop of ZeoLyte or 2 scoops of ZeoLyte. There's been a tablespoon of charcoal. There's been my niacin. There's been glutamic acid. There's been pyroglutamic acid. There's been LOLA, L-ornithine, L-aspartic acid. There's been Nutrim. There's been Cerabeta, which I'll go over. There's been apple pectin. There's been sun fiber. There's been like all these things. So I'm not saying all those things go into it every day or all the time. I'm saying those are things, these are powders that you can use to dilute the alginate. And if you mix them together first and then add the water, and the alginate molecules or the other clumpy molecules aren't close enough together to enough of them, you don't have clumping. Okay. So that's that. Let me go and look here. The spring water bath. Somebody asked why I stopped using psyllium husk, because psyllium husk is mostly from India, and there are concerns about lead and very much about nickel. Let me give you a general nickel. Let me give you a general nickel advice. If something is a plant food and it is considered moderate to high fiber, the part that you're eating, if you're eating the part of it that has the moderate to high fiber, you can be pretty sure it's high nickel. That's where plants put their nickel. Just like humans tend to put copper and nickel into cancers. It's possible that plants may make extra fiber when they have extra nickel around, which is why the highest soluble fiber foods are also some of the highest nickel foods. And if we're literally taking psyllium husk, okay, the husk of a plant is where the nickel is concentrated. So that's why I'm not using it anymore. There is lead concerns from psyllium out of India. Psyllium's a pretty big market for India. Do I always believe what they're going to tell me on their certificates of analysis? No, sometimes we have to go by logic. And if we know that high soluble fiber foods, why do we talk about refined flour and white rice? Because the bran, also some might call it the husk of it, is taken off because that's where the nickel is. So why would I take psyllium husk? Not going to do it. I'm not going to eat oat fiber is like completely oat bran. There was a period of time where I was doing oat fiber. So I'm not saying oat, I'm not saying Nutrim, I'm saying oat fiber. It's literally sold by Anthony's organic oat fiber. It's literally just the bran part, the husk of the oat. Maybe I'm saying husk is not the right term, but you understand what I mean. It's the outer part. You want to know what I realized after I figured out the nickel thing? The time when I was having the most symptoms, the time when I was the most sensitive to EMF, the time when I was the most sensitive to space weather, all those times together was when I was doing a tablespoon of psyllium husk 3 times a day. I was eating a can of beans a day. I was having a cup dry of Coach's oats a day. I was having about 60 grams of soluble fiber a day. And that was when I was the worst. I got to look at patterns. So now we know the patterns, and I'm not doing psyllium anymore. I mean, somebody say, would the nickel stay in the husk? I don't know. It doesn't work that way with oats. But could it be cleaned? It's possible. But yeah, I'm not touching psyllium anymore. No way. I can't tell you, you guys, as you get better on the low nickel thing, and maybe as you do some PEA, and not PEA is palmitoyl. If you ever see anything that starts with phenyl, that's not PEA. There's something else they call PEA. phenylethanolamine, which is what like Huberman talks about. Don't do stuff Huberman says. Huberman takes an herb to help his sexual function that is known to be liver toxic. Fedoja. You look up Fedoja and liver toxicity, it's known to be liver toxic, and I guess he just needs it for all his side pieces or something, you know? Anyway. Don't eat the husk of seeds. And beans are basically seeds and grains are seeds. So we don't want that part. So there's that. Oh, Sergio says he's been taking 2,500 to 3,000 milligrams of PEA. Great stuff. Awesome. Right. I'm trying to get my son on it now. He's still just, we're waiting for the, he got his braces off, and I've been hearing less and less about his back pain, which I think was completely nickel toxicity caused. I'm very excited about that. Oh, and somebody was, so I'm just going to say this right now. Let's do this. Where was it? Oh, Heather added, since starting PEA, I'm sleeping deeper. I've had 2 nights where I slept solid 9 and 10 hours straight. Pretty good for a 68-year-old to sleep like a teenager. There have been some people questioning me and saying, could it be duration paradox? Could PEA be duration paradox? And I've given every single reason of why it's not duration paradox. I mean, remember, I'm the guy who came up with the concept. I created the duration paradox, not to be immodest, but it's my thing. When we see something that is literally made in our bodies, it increases when you're under inflammation or stress or toxicity. But they've shown that if you get extra, it helps bring it down. We've shown that there's no withdrawals when you stop taking it. We've shown that there's benefits that last longer after you stop taking it. Like it's naturally in foods. Like at what point do we go, this is not a drug, this is just something that our body wants to make? And it our body makes more when it is under inflammation. I don't know if I'm going to go over it today, but there's a new paper on magic vitamin A. They literally called it magic vitamin A. Maybe I'll do that one today. I don't know. It's 2 tretinoins bound together. It's 2 all-trans retinoic acids bound together. One wasn't bad enough. The ATRA study on U.S. military retired veterans, where they had them put tretinoin, retin A, on their face to prevent skin cancer, and it killed more of them. Now they're going to put 2 of them together. And I still remember the research that Kelsey showed me, like cells were less viable. It had higher cytotoxicity in cell studies. It killed more cells than retinol and what was the other one? Then beta carotene, I think it was. And you know what it did? This is what I wanted to bring it up. I need to get that study. They found that the body produced more PEA. The body produced more PEA when it was given a poison like a double tretinoin. And they're like, oh, this is great. And I'm like, oh, no. Kelsey saw it and she brought it to my attention. I was like, oh, that's very, very bad. That is very, very bad. You do not want to take things that make your body increase its defenses. It's like when people take echinacea and it increases their white blood cells. Those are your cleanup crew. Why would your cleanup crew increase? And why do people know that if you take golden seal to increase your immune system, which is berberine, that eventually, if you take it too long, your immune system goes down? That's the duration paradox. You take PEA, your body doesn't make less PEA. If anything, it might be able to have the capacity to make more in the future, should it need to, because you get to fix stuff, right? So anyway, okay, so let's get back to the binders. So what else was there? Okay, so somebody was asking, okay, so I'll just hit on, we did ZeoLyte. Okay, so somebody asked, do binders inhibit mineral absorption? Proper binders do not. Okay, let me go over what, here, I'll share this. Joe, you don't have to show that screen. Okay. People talk about charcoal supposedly depleting or blocking nutrient absorption. I've challenged them before to show me any research evidence of that. You want to know the research evidence they have of it? They added charcoal to apple juice. Not a cell study, not a real life study. Charcoal mixed into apple juice made the apple juice clearer and a little less brownish yellow. And it grabbed onto some of the B vitamins and other things that we don't really want. But it's a glass of apple juice. Far from the human body. And there's only so many things that it can exchange in there, right? Once the charcoal has grabbed onto everything at once at that moment, there's nothing else worse coming in. You understand? And then there was a study on people who had colostomy bags. And they were taking lots of charcoal because, as you guys know, if you carry around a bag of your own feces, it's probably going to smell. So they were taking charcoal like 3 times a day, right? These people have literally had part of their intestines removed. So does that mean they should be more susceptible to nutrient depletion and not absorbing well? Yeah, right? They took charcoal for, it was like something like a year or more, 3 times a day. They did not have any worsening nutrient deficiencies. And then there's the Russian study where they gave charcoal to mice, and they saw that the old mice, they gave charcoal to old mice, and the old mice lived longer. That doesn't make sense with nutrient deficiency. They didn't increase their nutrients. So charcoal and nutrient deficiency doesn't happen. And nobody can show me research that it does. Okay, so then we have, let me say this. Binders and drugs, meds, poisons, okay? Pharmaceutical stuff it's a compound that is meant to do something in your body that is not natural. One might say, another person could say that that's a toxin. Okay? So, do not take your meds with binders. They don't play well together. The binders will grab your meds. If you're taking nicotine or caffeine or alcohol or whatever, it will grab those too. They will be less effective for what you want them to do because they are literally like nicotine's a pesticide, caffeine's a pesticide, alcohol's just a toxin that we try to get rid of. We have lots of machinery to get rid of alcohol. It doesn't always work great for people, but that's what we have. So binders and OTC meds, pharma meds, hormones, don't take them with hormones. Like if you have stuff you specifically that may or may not be good for you that you want to take it away from binders. But again, about the proper binders, when we talk about ion exchange, proper binders, well, let me go over, okay, so let me hit on this first before I say proper binders. What do I mean by improper binders? First of all, I'm just going to say diatomaceous earth because I mentioned that in some of my old Inner Circle videos. Diatomaceous earth doesn't detox jack crap. Find me research saying diatomaceous earth detoxes anything. It doesn't. It doesn't detox anything. People will say, I saw one crazy guy on YouTube saying diatomaceous earth is like a multivitamin. I'm like, it's silica. It's little diatom broken up silica shells. It's not a multivitamin unless all we needed was silica. Okay, but then there's the other thing of people saying, oh, but it's sharp and it's going to chop up parasites and chop up your gut. Okay, what diatomaceous earth does? Diatomaceous earth will literally kill bugs. How does it do that? Diatomaceous earth is very drying, right? Silica, it's literally like sand in a way. It's a form of silica. When bugs with their exoskeletons crawl on it, the dust gets in the cracks and it dehydrates them from the inside out. That's how it kills bugs. That's why bugs see it and they want to go the other way. Now, could diatomaceous earth help with parasites? Sure. But if it's like, if the mechanism of it killing parasites, I'm going to say the mechanism of it killing parasites is probably drying them out as well. Because if something was sharp enough, if diatomaceous earth was all these little sharp shells coming through and it was sharp enough to cut up parasites, why aren't tons of people getting bleeding out their guts and dying from taking diatomaceous earth daily? You can't have one without the other. It can't chop up parasites and not chop up your gut, because your gut's very sensitive. So anyway, diatomaceous earth is just like, the only thing I might use it for, if somebody really insists on using it, would be you can run a test run of it for known parasites. But is diatomaceous earth a binder? No, it doesn't bind anything. And nobody could ever say it does because there's no research on it. I've looked it up. So, next, pharmaceutical chelators. Calcium EDTA, DMSA, the old Captomer pills, anything that they're giving IV chelation. Disulfiram, those of you who think you're real smart, dithiocarbamate, I think it is what disulfiram breaks up into two, either thiocarbamates or dithiocarbamates. Anyway, there's research where they try to say that disulfiram chelates nickel. Chelate just means claw. I was saying this in the chat of Beth's video yesterday. Chelate means claw. Chelators, this is the thing you must know, they can pull stuff out of your tissues into your bloodstream. Does that mean it's left your body? No. It means it's pulled it out. It's stirred it up. It's clawed it out. And it's holding it. Now, what could happen to it? It could just let it go, right? Like all the movies where they're hanging onto the ledge and then eventually they fall. So a chelator could hold on to something and lose it. A chelator could hold on to it long enough that it helps carry it out. A chelator could hold on to it long enough to put it back somewhere even worse. And disulfiram, the thiocarbamate that comes from disulfiram, was shown to put up to 10 times more nickel in the brain. All you folks who took it for Lyme and you got worse after it, we're very sorry. Kelsey figured this out. Sorry, I'm shaking my own desk. Kelsey figured it out, and Kelsey was like, oh, because she took it for what they thought was Lyme. Well, she doesn't have Lyme symptoms anymore. Crazy that this supposed bioweapon can be defeated with fixing toxicity and fixing nutrients. Crazy. You got to remember that the whole nanobots and government weapons and all this stuff could just be a gigantic psyop to keep everybody in fear. And it's because they really don't want you to know that you're just being poisoned. Okay. The changes on the earth that you're seeing are literally happening. Yes. Are they man-made? No. Which would scare people more? Knowing that it's stuff beyond their control, that they have no idea what's coming next, or if they thought it was dues from up above and they thought it was governments and they thought it was them and they thought it was all this stuff. And they thought it was at least human controlled. If it is at least human controlled, then at least they have choices they can make. But if it's literally the planet and the stuff going on that they have no control over, that would scare them worse. So they need you to keep working. So they want you to think that it's them and not stuff that they don't even control. So then we get into nanobots. You're under attack from nanobots. Folks, if you were here and let's say you used to believe in the whole nanobot thing and you thought you were infested with nanobots and we got you better without dealing with any of that stuff, did they really exist? If Kelsey was diagnosed with Lyme and we got her better, did we defeat a bioweapon? Just remember, they want you scared of them. They want you to think that mankind controls all this stuff. They definitely don't want you thinking it's toxicity, because then you'll come after them. How are you going to go after nanobots? I don't know. How do I keep getting healthier in this world full of all these nanoparticles and supplements and nanobots? And how do we do this? How do we keep getting people better? Because shouldn't the other problems be getting worse and stronger? They need you confused. They need you believing in things that don't exist. So the less you do that, the less time you spend on social media, the better. I'll put it that way. Especially the hold on. No, okay, so okay, let me find that. Monads asked, this is Joe, I don't know if you have that one at your thing. I thought this was at first let's see. Oh, oh yeah, Joe, if you want to show that, the secret ingredient. Oh yeah, there it is. Monad said, this is the adult version of Saturday morning cartoons as a kid. Is this the new time? This is not the new time. This is, I'm just going to be honest, like whatever's been going on in my life, which is lots of things all at once. You know how they say everything everywhere all at once? I've had a lot of stuff going on, so this is not the new time. Monday night, whatever was going on Monday night, like, and the things I had going on, I didn't sleep a wink Monday night. And it was Tuesday morning, and I was asking myself, and I was asking my buddy, and I talked to Kelsey, and I was just like, I'm not doing it today. I am not up for this today. And then I had other things that I had to work on during the week, and I wanted to get a subject finalized. And so no, it's going to go back to Tuesday at its normal times. I've been thinking about changing the day. Maybe make it I didn't see that Kelsey's in the live chat. Hello, Kelsey. Nice to see you. So no, it should be Tuesday, but I've been thinking of moving it to Monday. I just don't want to. Here's the problem is, and I'm going to apologize to Kelsey for this, because I just have a lot of things that I have to think about, and she knows now that, okay, so the progression is this. On Friday, I'm not worried about the live stream. This is the real, like, this is the legit me right now. Friday, I'm not worried about the live stream. As Saturday comes around, I'm like, I got to pick a topic. Sunday's coming around, I'm like, I got to start working on this. Monday, I'm like, I better have a topic picked, and I'm starting to get a little irritable because it's just stress. It's like the deadline is coming. And then Tuesday morning, and if I haven't prepped very well by Monday night, I don't sleep great Monday night. I'm stressing about it. And then Tuesday morning comes around, and if I haven't prepped enough, then I'm waking up 4 a.m. for me. Like, it's normally on at 10 a.m. for me. I'm waking up 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and I'm just getting on the computer, and I'm just typing out stuff. And Kelsey's been with me when I've been in that lead up. I try not to do the live stream. I try to do the live stream right before, when I used to go see her, visit, or we'd be visiting for about a week. I'd try to not do a live stream while I was seeing her, just because, I'm human. I get stressed. I have performance anxiety, if you will. I still do it every time, and people seem to like it. And, I'm human. If I didn't do live streams, I'd never get videos done. I'd put them off. I do the live streams, so I have to perform at this time. And right now, I just decided that I talked to Joe, and we arranged that we could do it today. So, but we will be going back to the normal time, but I'm trying to figure out what a better time would be. I'm trying to figure out if we're going to do, like, I may start doing my inner circle that is currently in the, here. So let me know here. You guys can give me feedback here, and I'll ask for it in the network. See, the network people can access the inner circle, but I'm considering doing the inner circle on YouTube, yes, I will still have to, if I talk about sensitive topics, I will still have to talk about them in certain ways because the YouTube folks don't like discussion of certain topics. But as you guys know, I figured out how to talk about them in code, if you will. So, but we've been thinking about doing the Inner Circle as a subscriber thing on YouTube. The only issue is that YouTube still reviews it. So I have to still be YouTube friendly. We'll put it that way. So anyway, if you're interested in that, say it in the comments, say it in the live chat. We'll look into it. Yeah. So let's see. Oh, cool. Monads. Yeah, say that one. Monads says, I'm on Suboxone, a medication, right? Is that naltrexone? Or is that, I forget what, I'll just, hold on. Let me just look it up real quick. Buprenorphine. Okay, got it. Buprenorphine and naloxone. Okay, got it. So anyway, so yeah, it's it's a medication, right? And like I said, this person said, I'm a Suboxone and niacin and charcoal definitely affected. I actually had a clean urinalysis at my appointment and was like, quote, oh, right, niacin. This just shows the power of flush niacin. Kelsey has papers of case studies where people took those like smoke shop detox kits, which make you flush a lot. They've got a lot of flush niacin in them. And so then people will test clean on their urinalysis the next day or two. Flush niacin literally provides your body the energy to detox, especially organic type toxins. Yes, it doesn't necessarily like toxic metals have to come out of you, and there's other processes for that. And flush niacin helps that. But flush niacin literally runs the detox pathways that break down a lot of toxins by providing NAD. It is the best and least expensive way to get NAD into your system. Don't believe all the mitochondria nerds who are trying to sell you all these fancy NMN and NR and all. It's expensive trash that literally turns into nicotinic acid anyway, to go into the same pathway that nicotinic acid does. So why don't you just buy nicotinic acid for cheap? Why would they want to sell you a more expensive supplement? Oh, I don't know. Why did it used to be a pharmaceutical drug and now they don't want it around anymore? And now their pharmaceutical companies are literally paying to have studies made to badmouth niacin with that phony 2PY, 4PY BS, which is a niacinamide problem. 2PY and 4PY, if you still think niacin is bad because of that 2PY and 4PY study, I'm going to remind you, 2PY and 4PY are made when people take niacinamide. What do they fortify foods with? Niacinamide. Do they fortify foods with flush niacin? No. Are they trying to badmouth and group flush niacin into the same 2PY and 4PY BS, even though biochemically it doesn't fit there? Yes. So if you start to see the mainstream using something to fortify foods and they're bad-mouthing the other thing, then you should wonder. Now I'm going to show you another example. A woman, I believe her first name is Levi. She is a member of the tribe, if you know what I mean. She got a Nobel Prize for work on the family of things that PEA is part of. Then in Spain and Czechoslovakia, in Spain, there was Palmidrol, which the government literally had as part of their health program. And in Czechoslovakia, there was, what's the one? Why am I not remembering it? I had it in my head. Impulsin. These were literally like over-the-counter kind of medications. Okay? The government in Spain paid for it. And then all of a sudden, as Kelsey was looking into her research, it disappeared. And nobody talked about it anymore. And then as you guys saw in that one PA episode where we have to look into the pharmacoeconomic implications of how good PEA is for people. Like the pharmacoeconomic implications. That was one of my favorite things That may be one of my favorite moments in all of the live streams where we came across pharmacoeconomic implications of PEA. It would hurt their income. That's why it disappeared. That's why it disappeared. It would hurt the pharmaceutical industry's income. And so it disappeared. And now, of course, they're trying to make micronized and ultra micronized to basically ruin the whole thing further. So, oh, and Kelsey added about the disulfiram. She said it made her feel better in some ways, which is why I kept going. I now know it was because it was slowing her detox majorly. Yeah, I mean, remember, Kelsey doesn't need to remember this. Kelsey knows this. Your body puts poisons, toxins, toxic metals into your tissues on purpose to protect you. It would be just like, let's say somebody has too much stuff in their house and they start putting all the stuff that they don't use, that they don't want, but they're not getting rid of. They put it all into a bedroom. They have like an extra bedroom and they start shoving it in there. But they keep accumulating stuff because they're not good at throwing stuff away. They're not good at detoxing their house. So they keep accumulating stuff. Like, think of a hoarder, right? They start put down the hallway. They've got stuff on both sides of the hallway that you got to walk between, right? They start putting it, they get stuff in the bathroom, but they always have to keep the paths clear. Because if the path isn't clear, the bloodstream, then you get real problems. You trip on things, you step on things, and you break them. You know, you have lots of problems if you don't keep walkways. Like I've always said, I remember my mom when I was a kid and I was messier. Like even in my room, it was messy. It wasn't filthy. It was just messy. But I always made sure I had a path to my bed. I didn't want to hurt myself in the middle of the night, right? I always make sure that my pathway to the bathroom, when it's going to be dark, is always clear so I don't hurt myself. So think of the body as that way. Your body will shove everything out of the way until it can't anymore. And that's when the problems really start. Like you may still be having problems when you have to navigate your house through all the junk, right? It's still causing you to go slower. Oh, is that like fatigue? Because you got to dodge more stuff and you got to be more careful. But then let's extend this analogy, right? Let's say somebody's filling up their house. They're running out of space. They're like, I literally have to get stuff out of my house. Okay. So what do? They buy storage units. They rent storage units. What might an analogy to storage unit be in the body? People literally have too much stuff for their house to contain. We might call that cancer. Literally extra spaces to hold toxins. People have too much stuff in their houses. They get storage units. People have too many toxins in their body. They make literally extra tissue room for it to store it. It's not the same as normal tissue. Is a storage unit the same as a normal bedroom or a normal house? No, a storage unit is bare bones. It's just space for stuff. Oh, cancer is a rogue tissue that really doesn't do anything. It's kind of stupid tissue. It just keeps growing. Storage unit places will rent you as many storage units as you want, right? They'll just keep giving you more places. So anyway, that's another little analogy. Oh, thank you, Maggie. I can't help but notice how pretty Dr. Smith's blue eyes are. Well, I used to have my whole lighting set up. I used to have two lights, two big ring lights and some lights here. And I didn't have them today. I didn't have time. And I just said, screw it. Let's go. Okay. Joe wants to play the section of did you have it queued up? Okay, Joe, just go ahead. Do it when you want. I'll shut up. Conclusion, the study showed substantial relief of objective and subjective symptoms of atopic eczema. So the skin actually literally looked better to the doctors and however they measured it and how it felt to the patients. After regular skincare with the study cream, the patient-related effectiveness
Decline of itching and loss of sleep indicated a gain in quality of life of these patients. The reduced use of topical corticosteroids is important in view of safety and pharmacoeconomic implications in the treatment of atopic eczema. Wait. What are pharmacoeconomic implications? I'm sorry.
Money.
Is that the income of the pharmaceutical industry? Are they worried about that? Are pharmacoeconomic implications?
That's a new one for me.
Are they worried about the pharmaceutical industry? Is that why you've never heard of this?
This is the perfect pair for your iPhone.
Oh, there we go. Okay. It was nice hearing Kelsey's voice. You guys should go watch the episodes of Kelsey and Beth. Kelsey always adds some really cool stuff. And I'll be honest, I really do love her voice. So she's my cutie. But yeah, that people have been continually commenting on my eyes, on the blueness of my eyes. Some people have said that they're amazed at how white. I know I don't have great light right now. Like there's actually no light in here other than coming through the window here. So it's not great. But anyways, people have commented on how white my eyes are. And yeah. Lynn is saying Doc doesn't think lime was created. I don't know. Let me tell you an interesting story from my buddy who used to live in Pennsylvania. He said, crazy thing, whenever the rains come in, everybody's lime starts acting up. Do bioweapons not like the rain? Or what he went and finally figured out, somebody told him he had never looked at this in his life in Pennsylvania. They said, go and dig up the leaves where the leaves are really piled up naturally. He's like, go and pick up the leaves. Look at how much mold and fungus is down there. He did. He was like, what? What do you think gets worse after the rains? Mold and fungus. What's everybody breathing in? More mold and fungus spores. My buddy had a house in Pennsylvania. He wanted to move back from Washington. He's an ND. He's literally a naturopathic doctor. He moved his family there, and they had a little mold problem in the basement, and he thought they fixed it. He said his son, who has got these mild special needs, continually got worse and worse and worse and worse. And they tried to fix the house and they couldn't do it. And I talked to him. I was like, dude, you got to move out of that house. You're not going to fix it. And he did. And they moved back to Washington. His son just started getting better and better and better and better. Do I know anything about lime as a bioweapon? I want you guys to realize this. I've watched a bunch of my people, a bunch of my classmates from naturopathic medical school. Some of them, I won't say many of them, some of them became Lyme literate doctors. Most of the time I hear from people, they went and they spent $20,000, $40,000, $60,000 on Lyme literate doctors, and they didn't get any better. What are they treating? They put them on these super duper restrictive diets. Now, I'm not going to say the low nickel diet is not a restrictive diet. But we were helping people who thought they had Lyme get better with just the low vitamin A diet, even though there was plenty of nickel in it, like Kelsey and other people. So I've never studied that. This is the key thing about toxicity and nutrient deficiencies, and not necessarily believing what is said on the internet by people who are just repeating other people. Okay, because remember, how do you start the grapevine, right? You start the grapevine. Couldn't a agency start a little grapevine on the internet? And then all the people, all the influencers who make their living spreading fear, go and do it. They'll take it and run with it because then they get views. That's how they make money. So they love fake stories. They don't care if it's real. Right? So how am I helping people fight a supposed bioweapon? if I know nothing about it and I'm not even sure it exists in the way that people talk about it? How do I do that? I mean, I'd love for somebody to explain it. They're like, oh, you must have just fell upon the weakness of the Lyme. No, I don't. I'm not making fun of it. I'm trying to say, like, folks, if you stop believing in the truly science fiction stuff, you might enjoy life a bit more, and you might actually get healthier. If you watch the Fear PRON all day and you believe everything you see on the internet, because they know you'll believe it. They know there's enough people who believe it who aren't just going to think about the biggest problem with AI. The biggest problem with AI is AI believes every single piece of BS put on the internet. Joe tried to run a prompt with AI about our case for vitamin A being a toxin. It literally told him it wouldn't do it. Vitamin A's necessity is one of the most foundational pieces of nutritional medicine ever. So imagine if AI is so stupid as to believe everything it sees. And there's people out there who just doom scroll all day long. And they want to, okay, here's the thing. If we want to believe we're victims, that's fine. We can believe we're victims. Okay. If people want to do that, they can do that. And if our health obviously is not good because we're under attack from bioweapons and nanobots and dues and if you want to believe that, that's fine. That's a really scary place to be. Or what if we focus on not putting toxins in our body, helping the toxins to leave, getting like the legit nutrients, which are as a relatively short list, and fixing our mental, emotional, spiritual issues. I talked about a ton about that on the office hours the other day. And Beth was there, and Beth and Dagmar were both like practically high-fiving me in the background. I was like, that makes me feel good. Anyway, if you worked on those things, like just think about it. If you improved the way you perceive the world, right? And you fix some of your patterns, and as Beth calls them, programs, and you fix these things that you don't even think about, that kind of ruin your life in a little way each day, and then you got the toxins out of your body and you put the nutrients in, and then you get better, and then you go, wait, what was I believing before? Like, I really believed, and then you got better without even thinking about those things anymore. I don't think about those things, and we help people get better all the time. Is the low nickel diet? The low nickel diet's just starving the nanobots of their nickel, right? Or the people who are out there saying they're like literally BSing on microscope images. All these microscope people these days, they're trying to say that like, the nanobots are taking the ZeoLyte and turning it into antennas inside your body. Oh my goodness. Like, if it sounds like sci-fi nonsense, it probably is. I should have antennas sticking out of me everywhere, right? Shouldn't I? Right? And they're all saying, the supplements are full of nanobots and nanoparticles and ZeoLyte makes antennas. Where's my antennas? Why am I not under their control? Because maybe it's all bullshit. Maybe it is. Like, you got to realize the mainstream side is full of shit, and the far alternative side is also full of shit. And they're both trying to sell you stuff, make you watch social media more. Sometimes, and I used to do this, You want to believe the alternative side because you're like, well, we know the mainstream side, the government, the conventional side, that we know they're bad. We know they're bad. So therefore, everything on this side must be true. No, they fund that side too. They fund the most extreme parts of that side too, because they know that like you're gonna choose a side. They know. It takes a very strong mind to be able to see both of these things and say, maybe both of them are wrong. Maybe both of them are lying to me. Maybe the truth is somewhere in between. It might be here, but it's probably not way the hell out there. So it's just, it's like when people, okay, so let's talk about real quick, gray hair and hair loss. Gray hair and hair loss. What's the part of gray hair and hair loss that nobody wants to touch? Stress. Nobody wants to touch their stress. Just give me a pill. Give me a pill, doc. What pill do I take? What do I rub on my head? People, it's literally, they lose. The stress is causing me to lose my hair. We have expressions about it. Stress turns people gray. And then people at first, they go, what do I take? What do I do? You know, the thing that you can do that reduces your stress every day is to work on your mental, emotional, spiritual health. And the more you're going to, if you're out there and the more you say, I've dealt with all of that, the more effed up yours is. If you think, like I had a client who's like, oh, I'm in psychology. I've dealt with all of my stuff. And Kelsey and I both talked to her and we were like, no, you effing didn't. No, you did not. You are full of more stuff and more issues than anybody we have here practically. Why do people go into psychology? Because they're messed up. Why did I go into naturopathic medicine? Because I had health issues that I wanted to fix. So why do people go into psychology? There's nothing wrong with that. We can see the problems that we have in other people better. We're amazing, the mirroring and the projecting. We know how to see it in other people because we know exactly what we have it. But then when we don't admit we have it, that's the problem. Didn't think I was going to get on it. I've been getting into these more philosophical, emotional, like folks, if you're not going to deal with your emotional, mental, spiritual health, like, okay, let me put it to you this way. Okay. Your toxicity and your nutrient deficiencies affect your mental and emotional health. Yes. If you fix this part, you can improve your ability to look at things better. And certain things may not tip you over the edge as much, right? Your liver gets healthier. You don't get angry as quickly. Could you still be pushed to anger? Of course. Okay, so fixing your toxin and some of the things, some of the issues you have, like the mental emotional issues, like let's say the hangry, when you don't eat enough and you get really irritable and angry. Okay, if you fix your blood sugar issues, you could make that literally go away. And then people are like, wow, you used to get angry like twice a day and now you don't have that. You fixed that issue. That was not a mental emotional issue. Then there's the mental emotional issues, the trauma, the baggage, the whatever you want to call it, the bad vibes, whatever. I don't care. You know what it is. We all know what it is. If you don't ever want to deal with this, like if you fix yourself biochemically as much as possible, but you've still got daddy issues, mommy issues, like trauma issues, like ex-spouse issues, like these patterns that you have taken on, these programs, and you never, ever deal with them, those don't ever go away. And that is the hardest work to do. People keep coming, tell me what pill I need, doc. Tell me what nutrient I need, doc. Tell me what fiber, how much fiber. And I'm like, I'm going to say it again here. I said it in office hours. If you tend to If nothing ever gets you better, you've tried everything, including love your liver or including low nickel. You say everything. You haven't tried everything because you haven't tried mental, emotional, spiritual work. If you say you've tried everything and nothing gets you better and you just constantly get worse, or you get better for just a little bit and then you get worse. And then you find the new thing and you get better for just a little bit and then you get worse. And you get better for a little bit and then you get worse. And you haven't been doing the mental, emotional, spiritual work, which is the hardest work. It is the most uncomfortable. But that uncomfort you have to go through to fix it. You have to literally kind of admit, okay, I'm a little broken. Okay. So is everybody else. And once you fix that, that part is gone. You don't have to detox 20 years worth of stuff because you can simply change your point of view about something. And you can realize when it comes up, you go, oh yeah, wow, I don't have to react that way. I don't have to. But before you didn't know anything else to do. You had the same patterns. You had the patterns and you didn't know to get rid of them, or you were just like, we don't change until the fear of changing, until the penalty of staying the same is more than the penalty of changing. You know what I mean? The penalty of changing has to become less than the penalty of staying the same. That's when people choose. It's like, oh, why do people only quit smoking once they learn they have lung cancer? Because they've decided the penalties, right? But you can choose at some point that improving your mental, emotional state can only help you. It's going to be uncomfortable and it will only help you. Now, I don't do this work. Beth Martens does. She might be in the chat right now, but I showed you her YouTube. You can get in touch with her. Kelsey and I are going to do a session with her together. Because why? Because we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. Kelsey's not perfect. Nobody's perfect in this world except, the old JC, right? So I'm going to do it. And it's probably going to be a little uncomfortable. I know it's going to be uncomfortable for both of us. And we both know that the benefit outweighs staying the same. So now that my rant is over, let's see. I was doing binders today. So let's hit on the other binders. Okay, so now I start thinking, oh, I'll go back and review. No, I'm not going to review. Joe, show if you can show this. Good old charcoal. Let's talk about charcoal. Okay. I like hardwood charcoal. I do not like coconut charcoal. Coconut charcoal is everywhere. Hardwood charcoal is hard to find. Does that mean one might be better than the other? Why is coconut charcoal everywhere? Coconut charcoal, we've had people talk about how coconut charcoal, they've gotten some that has smelled bad. Coconut charcoal is made from nasty, old, moldy coconuts, and they don't cook it hot enough to burn off all the toxicity. They kind of slowly smoke it. They don't get it to the temperature that's needed. You can go talk to Topher Grace about this, about what he saw in Costa Rica, where they were making coconut shells, moldy ass coconut shells, into coconut charcoal. They're just trying to make something they can sell. This is the brand of charcoal I've used. You can see I purchased it 3 times. Zen Principle hardwood activated charcoal powder. Okay, from USA trees, not from India, not from China, not from Costa Rica, coconut moldy shells. Okay, now the thing about charcoal, right? It does soak up water. You need more water. It does it really grabs onto bile. It's very, very, very good at grabbing onto bile. It's not as good at grabbing onto nickel. So it does grab onto some nickel, but it's not great at nickel. It grabs onto other toxic metals. It grabs onto organic toxins. Charcoal is like the jack of all trades. Charcoal helps all over the place. Charcoal is just generally good. Do I still take charcoal in my detox sludge daily? Yes. I use a tablespoon a day when I use it. Most people can't take that much. It would constipate them too much. Okay. There are very few people. So here's the thing. Let me review this. ZeoLyte. Most people poop better on ZeoLyte. Some people, ZeoLyte might constipate. Okay. Now let's look at charcoal. Most people, charcoal is a bit constipating for. Some people, and this is even mentioned on the Charcoal Times blog or the charcoalremedies.com, they say some people poop better on charcoal. Okay, so you have to figure out which one you are. And some people who are constipated actually poop better with charcoal. So if you just go, well, I'm constipated, I can't try charcoal, or I have diarrhea, I can't try ZeoLyte. No, try them. You might be one of the atypical types, okay? Charcoal is just, it's so inexpensive. Like this is 2.5 pounds of charcoal for $35. 2.5 pounds of powder. Okay, that's a lot. 341 gram servings in 2.5 pounds. Okay, so that's charcoal is just really basic. Oh, and the other, let me talk about this right now while we're here. Think of, I'm trying to remember what I went over in my office hours and what I've been over here before. Think of the different binders as like different soldiers in an army. Different soldiers are good at different things, right? They have their jobs. They know what their jobs are. They're supposed to do their jobs. They have the right tools for that job. Okay. The more binders you mix together, the better army you have to grab onto poisons. Does that make sense? So if you want to put all your eggs in one basket, like if you had an army made of snipers, I mean, it could be good in some ways, but it might also be bad if all of a sudden, if your snipers are up against tanks, right? So if you put in the Pectisol and you get some Alginate and you get some ZeoLyte and you get some charcoal, you've covered a bigger spectrum of what will be absorbed. And then think about this. If you got these different binders in there and one binder comes across a toxic thing, so it grabs onto it, right? You got the other binder over here. And let's say this binder comes across something it likes better. So it switches it out. And then you've got this other binder that might love that toxin. And so it grabs it. So they can be playing like past the hot potato kind of thing. And so they're all grabbing onto the things they grab onto the best that are the most toxic. This is why I talk about, I haven't gone over this in a video yet, but my detox sludge. My detox sludge is a big mix of binders. And then I put in some stuff like niacin. And I literally take my keystone minerals with my detox sludge. So if you want to know, am I worried about binders grabbing onto good nutrients? No. While I'm on that note, let me go over what I think the problem is when you look at the research and you see that supposedly food soluble fiber inhibits zinc absorption. Do I agree with this? Yes and no. Okay, so you remember how earlier I told you about the highest soluble fiber foods will also tend to have the most what toxic metal in them? Nickel. Do nickel and zinc compete for absorption? They do. So if you're eating high soluble fiber foods that implicitly have a lot of nickel in them, that nickel, not the soluble fiber per se, but the nickel would compete with zinc for absorption. And because they're competing, you would absorb less zinc. So now, do I think that these soluble fibers in, let's say, beans or oats are grabbing onto the zinc? Not necessarily. I think it's more of the nickel problem competing with the zinc. So if you're doing purified fibers, such as alginate, apple pectin, the beta glucans I'm going to go over, if you're doing those, do I think that's going to be a problem? No. Do I still take it with mine? Yeah. And I can tell you, and so could Kelsey, that whether people think that fibers absorb zinc or that PEA, one guy was suggesting that PEA is, he somehow came up with a theory that PEA is anti-testosterone. I mean, we have the evidence in the research of PEA helping grip strength. We have the evidence in the research of PEA helping people's explosive jumping strength. I can tell you that as a 50-year-old man, I have no evidence of low testosterone, if you know what I mean. And my gym lifts keep going up. And I'm shocked in the gym. I mean, there's that old SNL video, Sally O'Malley, where I'm 50. Kelsey's been bringing that up a bunch. We've been talking about that. It's funny. Go look up Sally O'Malley SNL. I'm 50 on YouTube and enjoy that one. That's funny. That's what we've been joking about with me lately. Anyway, I'm not supposed to be going up in things like as fast as this at my age. Yet I am. And no, it's not a PED. So anyway, let's go over this now. Nutrim. Nutrim, I've been mentioning this. Nutrim, so pay attention. It says optimized oat bran powder. I have mixed feelings about Nutrim. This is beta-glucan. This is oat beta-glucan. If you want to see all the research on beta-glucan, let's see. This is the right website. Did I finally enter the right website the first time? Yep, here it is. So beta-glucan. Somebody went and made an entire research library of beta-glucan, and the conditions, they had to organize them by conditions, because beta-glucan has been shown to help all of these conditions, and there's multiple studies on all of them. Well, they kind of cleaned it. Yeah, so they just have the research feed. You can just go down, beta-glucan helping allergies. That's just allergies, right? So you can go through that. The beta-glucan they're usually using in studies is from yeast cell walls. So they grow the yeast. They somehow break down the yeast. They take the beta-glucan that was in the yeast's cell wall. So would that have nickel in it? No. Unless they fed it to the yeast. Do I think that beta-glucan, because it helps so many things, is probably very good at grabbing on a nickel? Yes. So why are oats such a nickel problem? Because beta-glucan's really good at grabbing on a nickel. What if that beta-glucan could be somehow cleaned, like our ZeoLyte or like alginates? Would it then regain its ability to grab on a nickel very strongly? And then would it make sense that it could help all sorts of health problems? I believe so. So anyway, back to Nutrim. I contacted Nutrim, Sir Nutrition, SUR, twice. I called their phone line, I left a message, and I sent them an email, and they didn't get back to me. And I was kind of pissed. Now, I won't say her last name, but Lily from the LYL contacted them, and they responded to her. I don't know. Did they not respond to me because I'm a doctor? I don't know. But they responded to her, and she asked them, she wanted to know the nickel content. And they sent her a COA that had a generic heavy metal content line. And it said their heavy metal content was below whatever the standard was, whatever the standard for testing was. And then they also tested lead and cadmium and mercury and arsenic. And I was like, so they have a catch-all heavy metals test, and then they have the other 4 heavy metals tested individually. I don't know. And then they said based on the heavy metals test that they passed the nickel test. And I'm like, considering they don't respond to emails well, I'm like, I'm not contacting you again. I'm not wasting my time contacting them. I don't know that I haven't seen a nickel line item yet. Could this have nickel in it? Sure. I've taken it. I feel pretty good on it. I like it. I don't think it has nickel. I'm pretty good at intuitively going away from things that have nickel, especially since I poisoned myself with like psyllium in the past. Like my body knows the nickel poisons now. So Nutrim may be good. We just don't have a specific nickel test on it. Now there is another option for beta glucan should you choose to do it. Cerebeta is beta glucan from barley. They sent me the nickel results on this. It is a low nickel food. Okay, so Cerebeta tested, they actually literally tested nickel. They sent me the results. Cerebeta is low in nickel. So if you want to do beta glucan that is not from yeast and you want to do it from a whole food derived, then Cerebeta is an option. So these are two soluble fiber options. If you wanted to do apple pectin, oh, I forgot to tell you, let's go, where was Cape Crystal? If you want to do apple pectin as a powder, Cape Crystal has apple pectin, low methoxyl pectin right there. So they have a powder if you want to get straight up. They call it fruit pectin. I guess you might want to ask if it's apple pectin or citrus pectin. I haven't asked because I'm just doing the MCP now. But anyway, you could get three things if you want it from Cape Crystal. You could get apple pectin, you could get sodium alginate, you could get potassium alginate. I'm going to tell you this. If you are one of the people out there, one of the things about apple pectin is what's called a fast fermenting fiber, which means it ferments in the higher parts of your gut, which means it tends to make more gas, which means it would tend to lead towards potentially more burping, more gas, more farting. Okay. So if you've had issues with bloating or burping or farting with apple pectin, that's an issue with it. If you wanted to get something like apple pectin that is a slow fermenting fiber, that would be sun fiber. So let's go over that now. Where was it? Did I have sun fiber open? There it is. So sun fiber. Sun fiber it's organic. This is ours. You look for sun fiber out there, you'll have a very hard time finding organic sun fiber elsewhere. Sun fiber is guar gum that has been partially hydrolyzed. That means it's been chopped up. Kind of like the alginate in the Pecticlear and kind of like modified citrus pectin. They're just chopping up the fibers a bit. This sun fiber mainly feeds your gut bacteria, feeds the lactobacillus, feeds the bifido. Okay. It doesn't gel. So you could mix sun fiber with alginates and it would help to spread it out, to dilute it so it doesn't clump as much. You'd probably need more than just sun fiber there though. So sun fiber is not really a binder. It fits into the soluble fiber category, but it's not a binder. Do I feel better when I take it? Yes. Does it have research on it showing it helps with constipation? Yes. Does it have research on it showing it helps with diarrhea? Yes. Does it have research showing it feeds all the good bacteria in your gut? Yes. Does it have research showing it feeds bad bacteria? No. That's why you got to be careful with like inulin. When people try to talk bad about soluble fiber by quoting inulin studies, inulin feeds bad bacteria. Don't use inulin. Don't eat Jerusalem artichokes. Don't do the inulin thing. So, did we cover? I think we covered most of it. Yeah, so I'm just going to hit on a couple things. I'm just going to go over what I do. Okay. First, my go-to is Pecticlear, honestly. If now that I'm through the hardest part of the low nickel diet, I'm going to tell you guys one of the things, if you go through the low nickel diet and you've been doing it for 2 months, 3 months or whatever, and you just kind of you stop. Because like you're like, okay, Pecticlear is expensive. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm going to switch to the other things. Or you stop your binders. And then you start getting symptoms creep back up on you. You need the binders still. It doesn't mean you have to go full bore. But you probably need some binders. I saw it happen to Kelsey. And it happened to me. You're not addicted to binders. You just start to feel really good when you don't have all this crap running through your system, and then you stop them. You're not binding it anymore. It's still coming out. And then you start going, I don't feel as good. This sucks. Because you're used to feeling better. You get spoiled. We all get spoiled. And then what I do, like, okay, so let's say if I was just every day, like I didn't have my other binders. I didn't have anything else. I didn't have my powders. I didn't have anything. What is my go-to? Like if I just want to have a really good day, or if I am not feeling great, I'm through the worst part of the low nickel detox, right? I just throw down 10 Pectaclear and call it a day. Okay. That's like my most basic go-to. Okay. So I'll take that with water before I go to the gym in the morning. I'm working on an electrolyte formula too. I just ordered everything for that. So I've been doing my mad scientist thing. I'm trying to be more like Kelsey, right? She's working on the PEA and the OEA formula over there. So she's got her thing, and I just wanted to test out, because I started taking an electrolyte drink with me in the morning, because I wouldn't eat 5 in the morning. I would take my binders, and I would then take an pre-made electrolyte drink that I found that I was okay. I don't love it, but I would take that with me to the gym, and I would do really well. And then I'd eat when I got home, like, 8 a.m. or something like that. That's what I liked doing. So I got something in my stomach with the detox sludge. I have my electrolyte drinks while I'm at the gym, and then I would eat when I got home. And that works really well for me. So I want an electrolyte drink now, but I don't like anything that's on the market. So what am I going to do? I'm going to make it better. I don't know if that's going to ever come out, though. We'll see. We got other products that are much more important, like the PEA and OEA that we're working on, and then the Pectaclear replacement that we're trying to do. So don't hold your breath waiting, because once we say we're making something, our supplement manufacturer is going to take at least 2 months to make it. So don't email Julie or Ashley and ask them, when is it going to, we don't have dates. Even if it's in process, we don't have dates. Remember, I tell you guys more than just about any other supplement manufacturer ever would. So just because I tell you more doesn't mean I know more. And it definitely doesn't mean that Julie or Ashley know, because I talk about stuff here and they don't always keep up with the live streams. I don't expect them to, but they don't always know what I've talked about. So anyway, we're working on that. What else was there? Lost my train of thought. Oh, well. Let me run through I'm just looking for, detox sludge. Yes. Inulin. So Lynn said she doesn't know about inulin. There's a study out there that says, in the title of it's like, soluble fiber increases intestinal cancer, blah, 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 blah. And people were sending me that paper, and they're like, you're telling people to take more soluble fiber? And I was like, I look at the paper, and they made, this is how they're trying to badmouth things. Like, remember, the devil is the best liar there is. And so if all the devil has to do is influence people, right? He could come to people in a dream. He could come to people in daydreams. He could come to people as an inspirational thought. Hey, let's go study inulin and call it soluble fiber. Because is it a soluble fiber? Yes. But what they studied in that study was inulin. And that's it. And then they tried to say soluble fiber does it. Wait, let's compare crude oil to gasoline and say they're the same thing. I mean, it's the stupidest thing. But that's what they do. So, Boosh asks, could dry mouth be a symptom of detox from the Pecta supplements? Yeah, I talked about that. You may not have been here for that, but I was talking about how any binder soaks up a ton of water. That's how they work. They have to have water in them so they can grab the toxic stuff back and forth, that the water transports. Just like, as an example, would be like when women wear underwire bras, and that there's stainless steel in that wire. And then so if the bra stayed completely dry, would they absorb nickel from it? No. But what do they get? They get underboob sweat. The sweat transmits, it leaches the salt and the water leach the nickel, and then the nickel goes through the water to be absorbed. So the water is a critical thing of moving toxic metals around. Like, you have to have it. You can't move. Toxic metals don't move through dry things. There has to be water. So all the binders are going to need a lot of water. So you could get a dry mouth from the water. And Boosh, if you didn't see it earlier, go back and watch the start of it, because they're the Lionsgate thing, and tons of people are having really dry mouths right now. Whether it's from fire smoke, whether it's from space weather, we don't know. It's happening to people. So if it's a sudden dry mouth that you're like, if you were doing the same amount of binders and the same amount of water, and you were sweating about the same amount, and in like the last week, all of a sudden you've been getting a very, very dry mouth, that's whatever's going on right now. That's not a lack of water. But if you added binders, the Pectisol, Pecticlear, and you added those, and you're not getting enough, and you go, yeah, maybe I'm not getting enough water. Like, I literally, so when I make my detox sludge in the morning, which has all sorts of binders in it, pint glass of just sludge, right? I mean, I don't mind calling it that. Some people are like, oh, how can you call it that? I'm like, what am I going to call it? One of the things I think I'm very good about being is realistic about things. Like, I'm not overly optimistic, but I'm also not overly pessimistic. I'm very realistic. It's literally like, what else would I call it? It's a sludge. It's got tons of binders and soluble fiber in it. It's going to be thick, and it looks funky because if you put charcoal in it, it's black. If you put ZeoLyte in it with no charcoal, it's that gray, light gray, light gray, greenish color. It's sludge. So I have fun with it that way. Then also, it's kind of like with kids when I'm going to drink my sludge, and they're like, ew, and you can kind of mess with them because they're sensitive about that stuff. It's kind of fun. So anyway, but yeah, dry mouth could be a symptom, and the dry mouth is not a symptom of a bad thing. It's probably just either like we're talking about with whatever's going on. It's toxins stirred up in your system. Could be wildfire smoke. Could be lack of water if you're taking enough binders. So it could be any of those. Okay. Aw, Kelsey gave me a heart. Thanks, babe. So I think that was for me. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't. I'll take it. Have I looked at this brand of beta glucan? No, I haven't. If it's from yeast, I'm not really interested. Let's see. Lynn asked, just wondering if I should. I'm guessing that's some misspelling there. With an old crown, I'm sure it's Metal Factory. I'll put it this way. The biological, doctor, if you haven't seen the Dr. Julian Camastra episode here, I don't remember what it is, what number it is, but I would watch it. And then also, we have a biological dentist in Coeur d'Alene, and he is very adamant about how he will not put metal in anyone's mouth anywhere. So if that tells you how the biological dentistry crowd is feeling about it, probably want to get it out. Kelsey said, definitely not low T, baby. And I actually talked to her about, we talk about this. I'm like, I brought up the gentleman bringing up that he thought PEA, everything he was researching mechanism wise, remember mechanism. He's like, it's going to lower your T. And I'm like, okay, so you got, this is why we look at labs and we look at symptoms. And if we see that PEA is improving grip strength and it's improving explosive strength, and it's generally making people stronger and faster, and with what we've seen, we go, if it was lowering T, then maybe T doesn't do what we think it does. I don't know, but it doesn't seem to be lowering T. And I'm getting, people keep seeing my hair, and I am and I mean this in I am thicker muscular wise than I have ever been in my life. And this isn't supposed to be happening to a 50-year-old male who's not on TRT. It's not supposed to be happening. Every guy I see in the gym who's 40 and up, and I look at them and they're they're lean and they're big. I'm looking at them and I go, you're on TRT at the very least. You can tell by all the veins, the vascularity. That's one thing that gives it away. Is Star Wars Botanicals good, Doc? I have this one as hardwood. If it's hardwood charcoal, I'm pretty much okay with it. Simple. That's why the other charcoal that you can get that's okay is bamboo. The Takasumi, I think it is. I'm okay with bamboo. I'm okay with hardwood. The charcoal, it's like, you remember there was the soy fad where everything was being made from soy. And then we learned, how bad soy is for us. And then there was the coconut fad where everything's made from coconut. That should ring alarm bells. When you see everything being pushed out everywhere. Let's see. Anyway, okay. If anybody, here's what I want to hit on before I go. If you were here for the whole binders discussion, for those of you who were here for the whole binders discussion, and you have other questions on the binders that I've talked about. The one thing I missed. Calcium EDTA, DMSA, not DMSO. DMSO is just sulfur, poison, trash. Don't take it. If you feel better on it, that's going to go away. And you're going to become completely addicted to it, which is how we know it's a duration paradox thing. Like DMSO, the sulfur dimethyl sulfoxide, people who say it fixes something, if they get off of it, their problem comes back. Did it fix anything? No. And they probably need to elevate their doses over time. That's duration paradox. That's not fixing anything. So PEA, I actually just recently lowered my dose. Imagine that. Wow. Maybe we're fixing things. So, as I'm getting all these great results, right? And then I go, I feel like I should lower it. It's just a gut feeling that I had. I'm at 1,800 milligrams a day. Okay, Joe, you can highlight that one. If you want, actually, you know what? I want to show you guys this. This is a huge asshole. Nice name. I feel like those Peloton instructors? Huge asshole. Anyway, what website would you suggest to buy PEA powder in bulk? Okay, so I'm gonna show you guys this because this was a moment of, I'll be honest, I felt like I had accomplished something in a good way. Let me go show you. Wait, I need that. Hold on, I need to find the link. Joe, can you find the Pure Bulk affiliate link for me and send it to me on Telegram? Let me go find some things so you guys can have the right. If you wanted to help us out with the affiliate link, but there's a reason why it might not work right now. Okay, let me go. Okay, Joe sent it to me. Hold on. Let me get that link. Okay. Okay, Joe, if you want to put that in the chat, that'd be great. Okay, so PEA. So this is where we were, recommending to get it from. They are now sold out of every single size. This actually, I took this as a big compliment, you guys. Thank you for supporting us. It's actually technically Kelsey's affiliate link, so you're sending that to Kelsey, and they're sold out. They're literally sold out. It was the time when I was joking with Kelsey. I said, I think I'm literally an influencer now. I know that word has a lot of bad connotations, but I was like, I literally influenced people to buy out all of this company's stock. Of course, PEA, the idea came from Kelsey. And then we got people on it, and then Pure Bulk is sold out. So they're going to have it at some point. They don't even have pickup of it. Or if you want to buy bigger bulk options than 1 kilo, I guess you could click there. Now, bulk supplements also has it. So I've used both of them. Oh, wait. Palmitoyl ethynolamine. There it is. So they still have it. Bulk supplements is being really weird about their affiliate program. Like, they have an affiliate program and they approve like 99.6% of people, but they haven't approved Kelsey or I's affiliate for months and months. So I don't think they're approving new affiliates. They didn't reject us. They just, oh, look at all this. No, here it is. Hey, they're sold out of the half a kilo and the 25 kilos and the 100 grams. So they're selling out too. So get it quick. But yeah, so this I'm an influencer. And I'm having our formulator work on two new variations of lotions. We're always going to keep that good old magnesium lotion, but I'm having them work on 2 new variations of lotions that would both have PEA in it. And we're doing other stuff with, we're experimenting with the zinc niacin salve too. So we got all sorts of cool stuff going on. Yeah. Yeah, Kelsey has lots of formulating stuff to also work on. So we have Kelsey work on it first when it's within her wheelhouse of getting the materials, and then we have our cosmetic formulator guy work on it when it's a bit more complicated and we need a lot more stuff, and we're starting with a product that we don't really have a good knowledge of where to start. Like he knows, our cosmetic formulator one, he knew where to start with the magnesium lotion base. That would have been really hard to figure out on our own. So I had him do it, and then we just tweaked it from there. And then Kelsey made her zinc niacin salve, which we're now working on making even better. And then we got the other guy working on the lotion. Now we got the PEA potentially going into some lotion, and other things that this all-in-one lotion that we're working on is going to be crazy, I think, in a good way. Oh yeah. Beth Martens, she's here. She got 1 kilogram of PEA from bulk subs when she heard it was selling out. And Huge Asshole says, awesome, thanks. You're welcome, Mr. Jassel. Artist Seer says, thank you for all your amazing information. You are welcome. The link for Pure Bulk, or the link for, bulksupplements.com. We don't have an affiliate link. The Pure Bulk one, I think Joe put it in the live chat. And I'm going to make a document. Like I didn't have time to make the document today. This has just been, and I want you to think about this. This is how I think about it. All of us are going to have crappy periods in life, right? I actually consider myself, one of the ways that you can improve your life is to, when you notice things that are lucky or good that happen to you, you focus on them and you think, I'm such a lucky person. I am a lucky person. But you got to pick that when it happens. And if you just take it for granted, you're just like, oh, something good finally happened to me. Well, then you're not going to get more of it because you're not appreciating it when you get it. So when you get something good, wow, I am a lucky person. Like think of it as you are this. And that's why you don't want to say, I am tired. I am anxious. I am depressed. Now you have become that. You have said, I am this. Change it to, I'm feeling tired. I'm feeling anxious. And then you turn it into a temporary state instead of becoming it. And if I say, I am lucky, I am blessed, then you can become, that's what you become, positive things. You are positive things. You feel negative things, right? So if that helps, but I something happened to me at the gym. Oh, I lost my heart rate monitor watch. You can see my tan line, right? My heart rate monitor watch literally fell out of the silicone watch band. I had it in my pocket, like attached to my key ring, because I didn't want to wear it for whatever reason. And the watch part fell out of it. And I was talking to some guys about it at the gym, seeing if they found it or whatever. And one guy was like, yeah, that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that, man. And I said, well, it's kind of been a crappy week. But you know what I added after that? You have to have the bad weeks to have the good weeks, right? You have to have contrast. There has to be, for there to be good, there has to be bad. Now, one of the things that you can do in life is, let's say, like my daughter, as a dancer, I was telling her, like when she'd say she had a bad day or bad practice or whatever, I would say, okay, the way you know you're getting better is your bad days. So if this is good day and if this is a bad day, your bad days are actually better because your good days get better. And other people can't even tell you you become so good that other people can't even tell you're having a bad day. I like to think that sometimes on this live stream, I'm kind of like that, where I just do it. And I literally think about this sometimes when I'm not feeling great. I'm going to come on the live stream and I want to tell people like, oh, I really slept crappy last night, or, oh, I've been having a bad day, or, oh, and then I think, just don't say it. Like, don't become that, and don't tell people, because as my dad taught me, he's like, most of the time, if you don't tell people things, or if you don't act like, if something happened to you and you don't pay attention to it and bring attention to it, he's like, most of the time people never notice anything. They never notice that anything was wrong. They never notice that you're off. Or if they do, they suspect it, but they don't have a strong enough indication that they think it, or that they say anything about it. And I was like, okay, yeah, I'm telling you guys this right now because the Lionsgate thing, I think, is affecting. Hold on one second. Edis. Hey. That's my buddy. Sorry, my buddy was leaving. He just came and trained my mom. And he's my guy where when I think I'm having space weather stuff, we just text each other. And he'll text me. He's like, dude, you feeling it right now? And I'll be like, yeah. And then sometimes I'll send him stuff. And we tend to both have our sleep. Both had crappy sleep for the 3 nights before that. And then last night, he's like, he texted me this morning. He's like, how'd you sleep, buddy? And I was like, better. And he's like, me too. And I was like, it's nice to, if you have somebody who is on your wavelength about space weather or that kind of stuff, it's nice to have them there, because then you can bounce it off of them. And if you're having space weather or other weird stuff, you don't know what it is, they can confirm it to you. So you don't have to feel alone or like you're, losing it. And then if they're constantly getting worse, or if you're constantly getting worse or better, then you might say, maybe it's not space weather. Maybe it's, what are you doing? Maybe it's something else. So you can kind of use that. I use it. I use all the tools at my disposal. And he's helped me and I've helped him. He told me about the Lionsgate thing. So Val Zim said 3 years, 8 months on Love Your Liver and still learning stuff in these live streams. Well, good. I'm glad. That's what we're here for. Let's see. Let me go. Kelsey was giving some advice on flush niacin. Oh, Joe was busy yesterday. He was working hard yesterday. He said, Joe, you don't have boobs. He said, I noticed I had under boob sweat yesterday on my shirt. I'm a man. First time I ever noticed it. In my gym now, I'm literally, okay, so I'm in there doing Judd Leanhard stuff. If you don't know who Judd Leanhard, go to his Instagram. Yes, he's on testosterone. I'm not going to deny that. And yes, he's got some skin issues. I'm not in charge of his health. Okay. I love his program. The dude is brilliant with what he does. I would love to hear him teach how he does his arrangement of exercises. I don't think he ever will, but he does crazy stuff that nobody else does. Like I was doing a leg focused workout and he had you do some upper body first. So he always does whole body, but he'd have you do a bit of upper body first before the legs. Nobody else does that. And I just keep getting bigger and stronger doing it. So I'm just going, he's right on something. But anyway, so I'm doing Judd's workout, which often his weight days will take me 2 hours. It's a lot of volume. It's more volume than I've ever done in my life. And I will walk around the gym in between each set. Like I just decide on how many loops I do as to how much rest I need. So I'm in there. It's Tucson. You know, it's a gym, so he's not gonna keep it freezing cold, but I am sweating just like I get two sweat marks here first, and then I'll get the ones lower on my body as I go. And I would never call it under boob sweat, Joe. Unless I was with somebody and I was joking. But yeah, you don't have boobs. Anyway. Okay. So, oh yeah, Kelsey. Yeah. So she said, I remember first calling these kind of sludge drinks with my Naya sludge product. Yeah. I still have some. Or was it Naya sludge? I don't know. I have the Naya soda. I still have some of Kelsey's original Naya soda black. And I use that in a pinch. Like when I'm out of stuff, I will make that. It was a really great product. And she was making that stuff for our people. And I always will really appreciate that she did that. And then at some point when we started getting together and working together, I was like, I don't want you to make that stuff anymore. Cause she was getting a cough from breathing in the charcoal. Like charcoal's not, the one thing you don't want to do with charcoal is breathe in the dust. Just like, oh, there's a PEA study. Do you know there's a PEA study where they literally had mice inhale PEA? Like they were basically the equivalent of snorting it. And then they were like, PEA worsens asthma. And it's like, you effing retards. Like, what are you doing? Why are you having them breathe PEA? What is the point? Unless you're trying to make it look bad. So, I don't know. Does anybody know if the R word is off limits? Am I going to get in trouble for the R word? And I'm serious on that. If you think I'm going to get in trouble on YouTube for the R word, let me know because I'll have to take it down and edit it. Okay. Oh, there. Yeah, Beth. I poisoned myself with DMSO pre-Love Your Liver. But the other ND out there who pushes DMSO, I forget her name, says that DMSO has never caused any negative side effects in anyone ever. Never, ever. What is her name? I'll put her on blast. She's really angry too. I wonder if it's her liver and all the other crap she pushes. She is a Canadian ND, so she's got that going against her. Beth's Canadian. I love Beth, but yeah. And I poisoned myself with MSM, which people will say, oh, there's no negative effects from MSM ever. And I'm like, that was the worst period of my life. So, let's see. Kathleen was asking, does 2 scoops of Pectisol plus 1 scoop of Alginate equal 6 caps of Pecticlear? Okay, if we're going by, if we're saying that Alginate powder is the same as what's in Pecticlear, I'm trying to do the math live in my head, right? Okay. In 6 caps of Pecticlear, 6 caps of Pecticlear. Is that right? I'm going to look it up. I'm just going to look it up. Why guess? Amanda Vollmer. Yes, Dr. Amanda Vollmer. She is nasty. And she really thinks like she probably thinks that I'm like he's some government agent coming after me. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm a government agent. Okay. She's not a nice person. Must be all the DMSO. Okay. So, why did that shrink? Why is it not? Okay. Here we go. Hope you guys can see this. So in 3 capsules of Pectaclear, there is 1.5 grams of MCP, Pectasol, and there is 750 milligrams of Alginate, modified alginate complex. So if we say 1-to-1 alginate, let's go to the Pectasol powder then. Pectasol powder. A scoop, 5 grams, has 5 grams of MCP, right? So 5 grams of MCP. We're going to go back to the Pectaclear. I'm going to move this right next to it so I can just flip back and forth. This is Pectaclear. So it would take, if 3 capsules is 1.5 grams of MCP, it would take 9 capsules to equal 4.5 grams of MCP, which would be 1 scoop worth of Pectasol. Okay. So 9 capsules is 4.5 grams of MCP. A scoop of MCP is 5 grams. That's as close as I'm going to get for you right now. Okay. So if we have alginate in 3 capsules, there's 750 milligrams. Let me go look at the Cape Crystal and see if they say how much is in a teaspoon or something. Let's look at the back. Where's the back? Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to do a quick search. Let's do how many grams in a teaspoon of sodium alginate. Okay. 2.3 to 2.5 grams. Okay, Modernist Pantry listed at 2.3 grams. Cape Crystal listed as 2.5 grams per teaspoon. Let's go with 2.5 because it's easier. Okay. So 2.5 grams per teaspoon. Oh, sorry, I'm not showing it. It's right here. Sorry, I just did this search. How many grams in a teaspoon of sodium alginate? Some sources estimated as high as 3 grams or 10 grams per 2 teaspoons, 5 grams per teaspoon. But the 2.3 to 2.5 gram range is the most common standard for precise dosing and spherification and gelling. Okay, so let's go by. So Cape Crystal Brands, their entire brand is about this spherification and gelling. That's their whole thing. Molecular gastronomy. And if this is really important in the amount, then I'm going to go by what they say. Okay. So 2.5 grams per teaspoon. So that would be, so there's 750 milligrams of alginate in 750 milligrams in 3 capsules. So if we multiply that by about 3, that would be about 2.25 grams of alginate in 9 capsules. Okay. So that would be 1 teaspoon of alginate. So so 1 scoop of Pectasol is 9 capsules of Pectaclear. And then to get what's in 9 capsules of Pectaclear, it would take 1 teaspoon of the alginates. Okay. So 1 scoop, 1 teaspoon. Or you could just take 9 pills. 9 pills is equal to 1 scoop of Pectasol and 1 teaspoon of alginates. Now, the gentleman who told me, he said he felt like it took somewhere between 1.5 to 2 teaspoons of the alginate powders to equal what he felt from the Pectaclear. So he was literally saying the Pectaclear is more effective at a lower dose. So you may need more alginate powder to equal the effectiveness of the Pectaclear. So again, the Pectaclear has an effectiveness, theoretically, an effectiveness benefit over the alginate powder. And then you also just don't have to deal with the alginate powder. There is the cost issue, right? There's the, do you want it done? Do you want a job done well? Do you want it done quick? Or do you want it done cheap? You don't get all 3. You can get 2. If you want the job done well and what is it? Well and fast, that's the Pecticlear, but it's not going to be cheap. You want the job done well and cheap, you're looking at Alginate, but it's not going to be fast. You got to do more stuff. You got to deal with powders and all the nonsense of that. So that's the thing. Now, I'm not against doing either. I have Pecticlear and I have Alginate powders. And when I make my detox sludge, I use the Alginate powders. And when I am in a rush or I run out of stuff or I just need a quick fix of some binders, I love the Pecticlear. So I use both of them. Not everybody's going to have them around, like that. But if you can, it makes it nice. Okay. So let me see. I think I'm about done. I don't want to keep Joe too long. Let me just see. Did I get to that? Did I answer that super chat well enough? Yes, I did. Yes. Okay. Oh, Carnivore said, great live stream. Thanks. You're welcome. I'm going to wrap it up here. Matthew, you're saying no R word does, here, let me see. Let me do this. Let me just do this real quick. Does YouTube have any issues with the herd? I'm not going to say it. Oh, no. Oh, dang it. Dang it. I used a bad word. Dang it. There's that guy on Instagram. He's pretty funny. Did I get psyoped? I think I got psyoped. Dang it. Some of you will know who I'm talking about. Oh, okay, Joe. Thanks for marking the time. Dang it. Got to take it down. Well, oh well. Amandha. That's how she spells her name. Amandha. Would DMSO as a gel to help heal a broken bone be okay? Short-term use. I don't know. Dagmar, I poisoned myself with MSM too. They say it's the simplest form of sulfur, right? It's the simplest one. So it's the most natural and it's in the ocean and and I'm like, okay. It ruined me. Oh, Kelsey says she's nasty. I got stories. David said, I've never trusted Amandha. Don't forget Amandha Volmer, particularly when she refused to answer questions. Oh, wait. Kelsey said she never even finished getting her license, but called herself doctor. Wow, nobody would do that. I'll leave Stephanie's comment here to stand on its own. So see, I'm not just, there's plenty of people who seem to have an issue with Mrs. Volmer, or is it Miss? It's probably Miss. I'm going to guess it's Miss. No. I'm going to say after the mouse study where they inhaled it, I don't know that I'd be, okay, listen, folks. Okay, let me just say this right now. PEA is fat soluble. PEA is fat soluble. You mix it in water, it's just going to float on the top. It's going to be little blobs on the top. It doesn't mix with water. So if you try to nebulize it, I don't know what you're going to do other than soak up globs of PEA, which is what caused the mite. Let me find that paper. Let me find the paper. This is the last thing I'm doing. I swear. I'm serious now. Let me see if I can find it. Did I share this? Oh, did I mess up my sharing? I messed up my sharing. Sorry, Joe. I'm getting it now. No, I did the wrong button. Oops. Share. There we go. There it is. Wait, prevents air. It's, oh no. Okay, so okay, before I find the paper, right? So they gave PEA supplementation during sensitization prevents airway allergic symptoms in the mouth. So it would help with asthma and allergy sensitization, but when they had them inhale it, let me see if I can find it. I guess they were trying to see if they could like literally shove it in there faster by having them breathe it, and they thought that would be good. Where is it? I know it's out there. Is this it? Kelsey, can you help me find that one? Or was it this one? Induces use. Where was it? Let's see if I add aggravate to it. I swear the word aggravate is in there. Maybe it was OEA. Let's go look at that one. Is that the one where they had them breathe in OEA? Might be. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it was OEA. OEA treatment. What are they doing? Did they breathe it in? That's what I want to find out. Where's the methods? Cell line and culture. Okay. Cells. The mice were intranasally treated for 4 days. They snorted it. They made them snort it. And then they're going to be like, oh, it's bad. It's so bad. Oh, and then they were intranasally challenged. Okay. Oh, and remember, if OEA is anti-inflammatory, you might find more of it in inflamed areas. Yeah, OEA increases pro-inflammatory cytokines in cell studies. Oh, what do we call the duration paradox? Anyway, OEA is good stuff. Oh my gosh. Actually, why don't I do that right now? Just because this study made me irritated because they're having mice literally snort it to try to make it look bad. Let me go and do this. I did this on, I think, the inner circle the other day, and I feel like doing it right now. And we're gonna wrap it up after this. We're gonna do oleoethanolamide, and I want to tell you, it's even harder to find OEA than it is to find PEA. Oh, this, wait, why is it not? Oh, I spelled it wrong. Oleoil. Oh, so it probably helps neuroinflammation and alcohol abuse. Oh, it attenuates pathology in Alzheimer's disease. Oh, it helps manage obesity. Oh, it helps modulate or helps manage eating behavior. Oh, it makes high cholesterol, high triglyceride mediated vascular calcification better. Oh, it helps your gut microbiome. Oh, it reduces cardiometabolic disruption secondary to obesity induced by high fat. Oh, I'm not sharing it. Sorry. Here we go. Joe's sending me all the things saying, show your screen. Show your screen. So here we go. Oh, Joe, how many times did you send it? There it is. So look here. 12 what? 12 what, Joe? You sent it 12 times? So here, we're going to run through it. I'll say it again. OEA and neuroinflammation and alcohol abuse. They probably don't talk about it there unless it actually helps it, right? It reduces pathology in a mouse model of Alzheimer's. It helps in the management of obesity. It modulates eating behavior. It alleviates high cholesterol, high triglyceride mediated vascular calcification. That would be called atherosclerosis. gut microbiota and the regulation of intestinal homeostasis. It reduces or mitigates cardiometabolic disruption secondary to obesity induced by a high-fat diet in mice. Supplementation on cardiometabolic health. It must have helped or they wouldn't have reviewed it as an endogenous lichen. Well, we're going to skip that one. A fat ally in the fight against obesity. It alleviates toxin-induced heart problems. It reduces risk factors for non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. It induces. See, this is the one where they had him snort it. Oh, we had him snort it, and it made it look bad. Neuroprotective, protects your brain after ischemic stroke. Okay. Reduces Alzheimer's disease, attenuates the what is that? Beta, the amyloid beta. Helps regulate food intake. Gosh, isn't everybody taking GLP-1s to do that so they can starve themselves while they're not wanting to eat because the food is rotting in their stomach and it's not moving? Yeah. Now, if you haven't seen my GLP-1 episode, you should. Oh, wait. OEA makes better toxin-induced colitis in rats. Oh, wait, this gut bacteria that makes OEA, it probably converts it from anandamide and PEA, improves metabolic and behavioral disorders by restoring intestinal permeability and the microbiome gut-brain axis in high-fat diet-induced obese male mice. So you mean it fixes leaky gut and it fixes the microbiome? Gosh, what does everybody talk about these days? Why aren't they selling this more? It alleviates liver ischemia reperfusion injury. It reduces that. And cell death. Attenuates or reduces cocaine-primed reinstatement and alters dopaminergic gene expression in the striatum. Wow, so wait, didn't we have papers on PEA helping with cocaine and PEA helping with alcohol? And now we have papers on OEA helping with alcohol and OEA helping with cocaine. These are cancer cells. OEA and PEA enhance apoptosis. Anti-obesity effects. Stabilizes atherosclerotic plaque, so you would have less of a chance of getting a heart attack or a stroke. Management and prevention of obesity. Let's just do one more. Reduces the stress-mediated potentiation, so the stress-mediated increasing of rewarding properties of cocaine associated with an increased TLR4 pro-inflammatory response. So it reduces all of that. So people, this is why we're saying the PEA and the flush niacin are helping people to quit their bad habits. If you've been doing the KG lipid cleanse with the PEA and the niacin, and you are either finding it much easier to reduce your bad addictions or bad habits, or you've literally quit something because of it. Like my brother was telling me, and my brother's doing it. He's literally getting, if you want to call it the ick, from Instagram now. He used to be on it all day. And he says he's literally unsubscribing from people left and right. And he's using it a ton less. And he's not trying to. He just, all of a sudden, his brain went, I don't like this anymore. It's not duration paradox. Why would they not like that? Why would they dislike something that made you better able to quit your dopamine addiction habits? Would that cause techno-economic implications? Would that cause drug industrial complex complications, like drug industrial economic implications, right? Why does nobody talk about PEA and OEA? Because it helps people stop their bad habits. They love you to have bad habits because bad habits bring them all their money. It restores alcohol-induced inhibition of neuronal proliferation and Oh, wait. So you mean it fixes the alcohol-induced brain damage problems? It reduces acute to chronic kidney injury. Oh, it helps the lymphoblasts grow better. Oh, it helps reduce the vascular calcification in diabetes. Reduces or makes better motor dysfunction after stroke. See how many studies there are here, folks? Shouldn't everybody be talking about this? Why is nobody talking about it? You can find OEA from like 2 manufacturers right now. Why is nobody selling it? So, okay, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you all for coming. Hopefully we will have a doc soon. We're going to have to, so for those of you who saw it, if other people are asking, we had to take it down because I said the naughty R word. So we're gonna, as soon as we download this, we're gonna take it off and we're gonna put it back up once I've edited it. And just Andy said, should we be rubbing PEA lotion next to our liver? Can't hurt. I mean, if you want a super strong PEA lotion, no, seriously, do this. Okay, so Kelsey said you could put 2 teaspoons into a bottle of our mag lotion, and that makes about a 2.5%. That's the research thing. Now I'm going to say, if you're a more is better type, and I did this because I was just being okay. I was just, there's only so much work I'm not going to call myself. Okay, I'll say this. I was feeling lazy, so I put 3 pumps of mag lotion in my hand, and I opened up 1 capsule of PEA in it. So 600 milligrams of PEA in 3 pumps of mag lotion. I'm not saying this is a magic ratio. This is just what I did. And I mixed it all together in my hand, and I rubbed it on my back, and I rubbed it on my calves, and oh my goodness, it felt better like within a minute. It felt better. And I went and I worked out. Like my back was a little stiff, and then I went and I worked out, and the stuff is amazing. So, I mean, people know that that's the funny thing, like duration paradox. People will be like, well, I feel so much better when I put on magnesium, and nobody goes, duration paradox. When we don't make magnesium in our bodies, right? But we do make PEA. So if anything, the crazy thing would be to accuse magnesium of being a duration paradox and not PEA, because we literally make PEA when we see inflammation and injury and stress. So think about that. But is magnesium benefiting from magnesium a duration paradox? No, because you literally need it to run. It'd be like saying, you don't need oil in your car. It's just duration paradox. Just drive it until it doesn't drive anymore. And then whatever. Like you do need some things from outside. We're kind of designed that with our giant meat sack, this meat sack of chemicals. We do need to put some things in it. Unless you figure out how not to put anything in it. Just spring water and rest. Just spring water and rest. That's all you need. No supplements. If you can find anybody anywhere who's had a bad reaction to a supplement, then that means it's terrible for everyone. That is the logic of the anti-supplement crowd. And most supplements are trash. Yes, most supplements are poisonous trash. Most of them. They are. Curcumin and all fish oil. It's all freaking garbage. I'm gonna have to mark my thing for. I said bad words today. I was fired up. Anyway. Oh yeah. So Kelsey added, you make more OEA when you take in PEA. Yes. So anandamide turns into PEA, and some PEA turns into OEA. So if you're taking PEA, you're getting some OEA. But you guys just saw the studies on OEA, and you know how it says like about you make PEA when you have stress or toxicity or injury. And then, but if it says you don't make enough, okay, so taking more PEA, yes, you do make some more OEA, but you guys just saw those studies on OEA that I went over. What if you take some more OEA too? You don't need as much, but what if you take a little bit more? Yeah. So anyway, okay, we are all done. I'm done. Ugh. Glad I got this one done, and we'll be back on Tuesday at our normal time. Just remember, this video is going to come down and it'll be back up. I'll probably do it right after this, so hopefully it will be right back up. Okay. Joe, I don't even know if I'm running through these links quick, Joe. We're doing the links quick. So those of you who want to go, if you don't want to see the links, go ahead, but you never know when I'm going to throw in more stuff. So our website, nutritiondetective.com. I have news on this. We have the normal store, the shop. The normal store is the shop. The VIP store is for LYL people to get their discounts. We have the Love Your Liver program there is under membership. We have testing and consultation packages with Kelsey. I have a couple things to add to both of these. And then we have the instructions page, the instructions link for all of our products on there. Now, let me say something. The plan is the new website will be up this week. It looks good. It looks really good. Julie and I have been very, very happy about it. So the new website's going up this week. So honestly, if you use it and if you have issues, I'm asking you, please email Julie or email Ashley and tell them about any problems with the website. I'm literally telling you this. So it's August 8th. It's 8/8. Woo. Anyway, if you have problems on the website, email us. That's how we fix them. Don't just get mad and not do anything. If you can, email us, please. So that should be up early this week. We have that. Then my plan is to start adding some more testing. If you guys want more testing and you want to do it through us, like blood nickel testing, like urine nickel testing, we're going to be putting, and then if you want to get hormone panels, if you want to get that stuff, we're going to be putting that stuff on the website. Not right away, and we're going to be doing it piece by piece. But we're going to be putting up more testing. So if you want to buy it, you can get it through us if you want. I'm going to throw this out there. Do not email Julie or Ashley about this because we don't have this in plan. But Kelsey, with her nickel tester and her chemistry knowledge, may start testing water and beverages and food for nickel contents. Okay, so we'll put that up when we've figured out all the stuff. But that's kind of a cool thing we've been working on. So if, like, let's say, is my coconut water high in nickel? She'll test it for you. So that's pretty cool. It's coming. And then Kelsey, we're going to start having Kelsey. If you guys just want a one-off consultation with Kelsey, you just want to talk to her about whatever you want to talk to her about for an hour or a half hour or whatever, we're going to do that. Okay. So those are new things. This is all exciting. It's all coming. So the funny thing is, right, the Lionsgate, I felt like crap during it, but new things are happening during it. So I guess it all works out, right? Okay, so then we have the Love Your Liver program. That is, if you want the direct link to it, members.nutritiondetective.com. It is the place where if you want to talk to like-minded people who do this stuff and not have to deal with the R words on Facebook or Twitter, who can deal with those people anyway? Who wants to deal with them? Anyway, that's what you would come into the Love Your Liver program for, is mainly the community. And then the program's there. And now that I'm making this big old AI database, I am going to be working on all of it and updating all of it. So that's an exciting thing. That's one of the few things I'm like, AI is really going to help me with, to consolidate all this stuff and put it all together so I can find all the things that I've said about things. If you want to sign up for our email newsletter, madisonmodernnutrition.com, you get like it used to be like a 17 email series, but I think we send it out as a PDF now. You can do that, and then you can get our emails. I'm going to send out an email about this episode and the Inner Circle archive that's coming out and other stuff within a day or two. So YouTube, you're probably watching me on YouTube, and this is where you can find most of our episodes. Yeah, but this is also the place where I have to edit myself, just like you're hearing about today. Rumble has all of our episodes unedited, including episode 198, which was where Kelsey was on, and she said a naughty 3-letter acronym, or the 3 words that are the acronym stands for, and I didn't catch it, and we had that YouTube said this is naughty and you can't have this here, so we took it down, or they took it down, and I got a strike. So that's why I'm concerned about getting a strike for the R word. Okay, so going on, we have Twitter. If you're on Twitter and you want to see my shorts, that's the main thing we're posting there these days. If you're on Instagram, we've been growing on Instagram. I think we got about 600 new subscribers in the last month. So it's growing here. It's growing there. Don't expect me to be hanging around in the comments on these social media places though. Facebook. There's our Facebook. If you're a boomer and you're still on Facebook. TikTok. Ooh, TikTok's there. It exists. Substack. I'm possibly going to be repurposing some of my old blog forum posts and potentially turning some of my videos into articles for Substack. So if you're into Substack, I'm hoping to be putting new stuff there too. Beth Martens, she was here in the live chat. She does her weekly no-cost Deprogramming Your Health group inside the Love Your Liver. So you got to be a member of the Love Your Liver to go to it, but it's no cost once you're inside there. Or if you want to work with her privately, you can apply to work with her. She does a zero cost 30-minute chat about what of her stuff would be best for you. And like I said, I've done 3 sessions with her. Kelsey, I think, has done 1 or 2. I'm not sure. And Kelsey's also working on her course, I believe. And then Kelsey and I are going to work together. We're going to do a couple session with her. So we'll, because, man, who has a perfect relationship? I mean, there's, one of the sayings I got that I really loved was, and I teach my kids this, I say, just because a couple doesn't argue, if a couple doesn't argue, that doesn't mean they love each other. And just because a couple argues doesn't mean they don't love each other. Because I was like, you don't argue with people you don't care about, right? Why would you argue with somebody you don't care about? You don't. So arguing is a sign that you do actually care. It may not be healthy, but it is a sign that you actually care and you want to be there. So, the Reviv. I love the Reviv. I did a episode on it. Love Your Liver 238 and 239. Easiest way to help your skull structure, which can help all of you. I mean, all of your body. I don't mean all of it. I mean, all of your body. I've been doing it for probably, ever since these episodes, 238 and 239. So we're at 262. So that was like 34 episodes ago. That was more than 8 months ago, maybe. I love the thing. Totally recommend it. Sperti lamps. If you live somewhere dreary and you need light, UV light during the winter months, get a Sperti if you want, or you can go use tanning beds. Remember who says tanning beds are bad? The mainstream says tanning beds are bad. Bad. They're very bad. Don't use them. Use our sunscreen instead. If you want to know what you need to do, I'm going to give you your vitamin D primer here. Eat less vitamin A, because vitamin A is anti-vitamin D. Don't take vitamin D, rat poison, cholecalciferol supplements, because you can take too many of them. They accumulate in your fat. Do get UVB light, whether that's from the sun or whether that's from a tanning bed or whether that's from a tanning lamp. Get UVB light on your skin on a regular basis. Fix your zinc deficiency. You probably have one. Fix your magnesium deficiency. Topical magnesium is the best. You should check out our magnesium lotion. It's amazing at doing that. We see it on hair tests all the time. It works. Regardless of what conventional research says, it doesn't raise the serum levels. Well, it literally raises the tissue levels because people feel it. And it must be fixing some of the brain levels when they relax. So anyway, just remember, the good things, mainstream will poop on. That's what they do. So we have that. And then get enough protein. Got to get enough protein. You want to make sure you get enough calcium. I would try to get it at the very minimum 200 milligrams a day of calcium, but up to 500 is good for some people. Going above that, I don't really think is necessary. But that's up to you. And then we have maybe you could use some vitamin K. We sell a really good vitamin K supplement. Remember, mainstream and everybody else likes MK7. So I start going, and it slows down PGP. It slows down your cellular detoxing. Kelsey taught me about that. So we were like, not MK7. We're going to do K1 and MK4. People really like it. So that's how you fix your D levels without having to resort to rat poison. Okay, GLASP. We didn't go over any GLASP studies today because I don't have GLASP installed on my new browser yet. So that's just the way it is. That's, in all honesty, that's where it is. It's not here. So if you want to check, you can check this link and it will give you all the highlighted stuff. I'm hoping that I can get AI. Here's what I'm hoping, right? So we have a database, an Excel spreadsheet that David has been very kind to work on for all these years I've been doing the live streams and the inner circle. We have over, like, actually it was 7,300 studies because some were repeats. 7,300 studies that we have documented. So that's in the database now. Now what I'm hoping is that somehow Joe might be able to help me with this. I can have AI scrape our GLASP and get all of those papers with all of the highlighted things and put those into the database. That would be amazing. So this is why I'm excited again. I'm like, I can take all this time and work that I've put in that I could never accumulate on my own, or it would take thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to pay people to do it. Now I can get that all and I can be in control of it. And then I can do with it what I want. That's what I'm working on. Okay. Who am I? Who's this guy? I'm Dr. Garrett Smith. I am known as the nutrition detective around these here YouTube parts. I've been standing this whole time. I didn't even sit down. So we are talking about today. Oh, we didn't put the new one. Can you put the title of the video in a little thing, Joe? I still have the old PEA one there. Joe and I were not as prepared as we usually are today. Joe was disappointed because Joe, you know, those cool the AI graphic things that Joe puts on the screen, the pictures, the images. He's like, I wanted to have a bunch of those for today, and he didn't have them. So we would have loved to have made today's show better. And I told Joe before the show, I said, today is just a just get it done day. We're just going to get it done. And I hope you guys appreciated it because we just wanted to get it done. So here we have toxic binders explained. You can look at my hair now compared to that picture too. It just keeps getting better. We have ZeoLyte. MCP is modified citrus pectin to the Pectisol. You can find both of those in our store. We have Alginate, sodium alginate. That's in the Pecticlear, or you can buy it from Cape Crystal Brands. We have charcoal. I suggest Zen Principle hardwood or any other hardwood that you want. Star West Botanicals is fine, or Takasumi, the bamboo charcoal. And then we talked about soluble fibers like apple pectin, like sun fiber, which is in our store, like beta glucan. We talked about those, and not using psyllium because it's literally the husk of a seed, which is where all the nickel is. So don't, or the cadmium or the lead. I'm really starting to think now that plants this is just a thought experiment. What if plants for a certain reason, right? Like humans have to have body fat to survive. We need a certain amount, right? Extra fat is like toxin storage. Okay. So let's say plants need to make a certain amount of fiber to survive. But if they're making a crap ton of fiber, is that to store toxins? I don't know. It's just where my brain goes. And then if we put too many toxins out in the environment, the plants start soaking it up. And then what used to be good for us, fiber before the great poisoning, could become bad for us. This is the brain gymnastics that we have to operate on in today's toxic world. You don't live in your granny and grandpappy's world anymore. You don't just get to eat like them and be better. There's tons of people out there who try to do that, and they look like crap, and they feel like crap, and they're all red. So just look for people who are red out there. I know I'm looking a little more red than usual because there's no light in here. So anyway, you guys know how I look when I have the lights on. So I will see you guys next time. You can kind of see how my skin color, see my skin's not red. I just got to get it out of the light. There it is. There's my more normal color to my face. Anyway, so y'all have a great week. I will see you on Tuesday. But remember, this is coming down and then it's going back up because I said a bad word. Okay. Bye now.